the samurai of spoken word. Also wait while I readjust the camera because I fucking bumped it.
Making it rain!
If you could, remember to introduce me as a family.
Yes.
That's perfect.
Okay, yeah, family, and I'm going to give you props for your contributions in keeping me sane and the concept of this show. My siblings have donated the first couple of bucks for this. Everyone grab a drink because I'm going to be doing a toast to Michael Garl to open things up. Yeah, I have my brother put
These are not all the same colors, so they do need to be spaced out.
Okay, okay. So I was like, yeah. I just remember when I was reading the locations.
All right. And then I did put some of those tear-off ones in the restroom.
Thank you so much. Yeah. As long as Pat mentioned it, but I was like, I wanted to go over there and just actually print it out.
Well, and these weren't from the same one.
Yeah. Right. Just so that people can get it. Oh my God! Sponsors and yeah, pictures up there. My siblings are going to start donating. I'm going to get a drink and we're going to start the show. Sound good? Let's try it again. Thank you. Yeah.
My plan was so solid. I remember I think it's on stage.
Okay.
So I think just like in the back.
Okay. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, I got it. That's it. We have that. We have that.
Okay, can everybody hear me? Not everyone can hear me. Everyone's going to the hospital lately, and I mean, just stuff's going just freaking nuts. Violence in the streets and whatnot. Mikey, we have a Mikey. Hi, Mikey. Okay.
Speaking of violence in the streets.
Yes. Mikey's here. The show can start. All right. Hi, everybody. My name's Joe Riss. I'm responsible for this travesty. They're going to start this off. But yes, we are the Samurai Spoken Word. We're a group of comics, poets, actors, people who like to use our powers for good. We're here specifically tonight to raise money for the Women's Center for Advancement. They are the local organization to get a hold of. If you're experiencing domestic violence, human trafficking, stalking, anything of that nature, they have resources to assist you. Everything from a hotline to shelters, classes, therapy, recovery for PTSD, that nature. So we think that's pretty awesome. And a few of our performers have stories related to that. So we thought, hey, let's put two and two together and make awesome things happen. Because I'm amazing at math like that. But right here at the table in front of me, there are some resources. Just some information on domestic violence, types of violence. Real quick, I'm running around like crazy here, but the WCA, the reason why we chose this specific charity is that they are LGBTQIA+ friendly, they're non-denominational, they will help literally anyone. So if you're like, hey, I'm a guy being abused by my girlfriend, they're not going to judge you on that. They'll be like, hey, get in here, we got you, it's fine. So, how are we feeling tonight, Sydney? Good. I do want to thank the staff here in Sydney for letting us do here tonight. I hope this was Zach. He's not here right now, I don't think. But Shane behind the bar is a badass. He will get you whatever you need. I don't know what they have on special, but Rolling Rock is $2 and Jameson is $4, so it's going to be a fun night. Because I'm not nervous at all right now, so yeah.
I might get carried out here, dude.
You and me both, buddy. You and me both. So I walk here, man, so we're fine. Anyways, but I have a lot of people to thank for so many reasons. Emily got me started on this whole journey. We were just kind of talking about the nasty things that people do to each other when they're not in love anymore and things. And so it just kind of crossed my mind of like, you know what, hey, let's do a show about how stupid relationships are and give money to a worthy charity. And I started talking to people and I said, hey, no, let's actually do this. Who's in? And all of these fine people said, hey, we're in. So I don't know why anyone gives me authority to do anything in this town, but goddamn it, here we are. So this wonderful picture full of cash over here is not the Samurai Beer Fund, unfortunately, but this is what we're going to be donating to WCA. Liz, over there, raise your hand, is our designated cash handler for the evening. She's short in stature, but she is a badass. You do not want to piss that woman off. She knows Krav Maga, okay? So, yeah. Anyways. But I think I covered just about all of our bases here. But real quick, before we get our first person up here, everyone, I see you have drinks in your hands. Let's raise a glass. Mr. Mike O'Garo passed away from us. Oh, I don't even want to think about how long. About a year and 6 months, somewhere in there. But we miss him. He was the best goddamn MC we ever had. He was the kind of person that I have and will always aspire to be, and probably never made it. So. Here's the mic. We miss you. Okay. Yes, sponsors, because they're related to me to be mad if I forgot this. But we did get 2 sponsors for this show: Greater Omaha Stories Radio and Tom Riss Real Estate. Some of their information is at this table as well. If you are looking to buy or sell a house or have general real estate questions, or if you're interested in a podcast about local people and what makes Omaha awesome, you can find some of our information up here. So please check that out. And where's Tom? Is Tom in here? Hey, yeah. I forget you don't smoke anymore, so you're always in the room. But yes, thank you, Tom, for sponsoring the show. Everyone got antsy, and I was like, we have sponsors. And they're like, what? And I'm like, whoa, calm down. I can handle these. But Anyways, so, to get things rolling, our first performer of the evening has a piece to share here. Like I said, the idea for this show was born at her house. And so, yes, she's been a samurai from the very beginning, good friend of mine, and she's my girlfriend's roommate, so I kind of want to keep her happy in her own way. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to stage Emily!
You know, there's been more than one time that I wish that I could be standing up here as the evil villainess that I've been accused of being, because those bitches have the best posture.
That's right.
I am not that villainess, but you know, I'm a trouble. So hey, evening, you flawed and emotional cucumbers with anxiety, you. Thanks for being here. We're hoping that tonight we can laugh at our pain, we can spread some understanding about the do's and don'ts of intimate relationships, and maybe even earn a couple shekels for the Women's Center for Advancement. Happily never after. Sounds pretty heavy, doesn't it? Now, I don't know about the content of any of my fellow performance pieces, but I asked for special treatment. I asked if I could have a split set, so I could be the first and the last in front of you. Why did I do this? Well, mostly I wanted to prime the pump, or since I know the personality signed up for this, maybe make sure that the fire hose isn't set on decapitation. I think it's safe to say that we should offer a content warning. Given the theme, I don't think it would be untrue to say that you should expect to hear the gamut of horrors that happen when love goes bad. But even if my fellow performers don't bring up much abuse, I did want to spend a few minutes talking about the different types that happen in emotional and intimate relationships. Most people, when they think of a domestic situation or domestic abuse, they think of a woman who's wearing sunglasses, talking about how she walked into a door for the third time this month. Or some blip on a cop ride-along show where two people are yelling and screaming when the cruiser rolls up. Well, that would be physical abuse, and it's only one of the items on the list. Physical abuse is any physically aggressive behavior that either directly or indirectly injures the partner. This can be withholding of physical needs or the threat of physical abuse. Not all physical abuse leaves marks. It can also include limiting access to essentials like food, sleep, transportation, healthcare, or access to friends and family outside of the home. Also, a partner that is violent to an inanimate object, such as punching a door or a wall or breaking objects, is also being physically abusive. Emotional abuse and intimidation, those are both often very subtle, and most often insidious and extensively used. This often shows up as keeping tabs on the abused partner, showing up and calling at unexpected hours to check up, checking the mileage on the car to verify the abused partner is being truthful about where they're going, or installing software to monitor computer use. Emotional abuse and intimidation can also include verbal behaviors where the abuser uses demeaning and threatening language meant to exploit vulnerabilities, insecurities, and mental well-being of the abused partner. If your partner treats you as if you were in a lower station than they are, like you're their servant, this is abuse. Reality-distorting statements or behaviors such as gaslighting or intentionally spreading information that will damage the abused partner's reputation, whether professional or personal, falls into this category. If your partner has ever threatened to kill you, your children, pets, or themselves, if you leave them to get you to stay, that's a form of emotional abuse. Verbal abuse is much like you'd expect. It's the middle school version of emotional abuse in that it's less sophisticated and much less subtle. This generally consists of overt actions, name-calling, threats to do harm to the abused partner, their pets, children, property, or reputation. It's not uncommon that mixed in with that, the abuser will tell the abused that they are undesirable, either sexually, physically, or emotionally. The method of delivery can be yelling and screaming, rampaging, terrorizing, or giving the silent treatment. Psychological abuse is most often recognized as intimidation, threats of harm, and isolation. This seems pretty similar to emotional abuse, but is usually less concealed. Actions that can be categorized as physical, psychological abuse can be threats to loved ones, pets, and property. The trifecta would be threatening to burn down your house with you and your animals in it if I do say so myself. Economic abuse is something that doesn't get talked about very often, and yet it's one of the biggest reasons that the abused partner feels they can't get away. Economic or financial abuse occurs when one partner attempts to control access to economic resources. It can take many forms, restricting access to family, shared income, where the abusing partner can force the other to turn over their paycheck, restrict the actual amount the partner can use, or force them to account for where their money was spent. Causing a victim to lose a job or preventing them from taking a job also constitutes economic abuse. The methods are varied, but it all ends the same. I think this is something a lot of us can relate to. Digital abuse. And I'm not just talking about flooding your Facebook timeline. That's my fault. I will own that. But digital abuse is another type that doesn't get a whole lot of attention, but is no less valid than the others mentioned previously. It's a sort of spin-off of emotional and verbal abuse, much more specific to a person's online presence. Digital abuse can take the form of a partner who tells you who you can and cannot be connected with on social media. An abuser will try any or all of these. Use your accounts to track your activity around the internet, steal or insist on giving you your passwords, or look through your phone or other digital device to make sure that you're not behaving in a way the abuser doesn't approve. If you have access to your digital information, such as shared fitness information or DNA test results, and use that to embarrass or ruin you, or if they use your social media platform to post negative or demeaning things about you, that is considered digital abuse. If you feel that they send you messages with high frequency to keep tabs on you or to keep you busy so that you can't be doing something they wouldn't approve of, that's also abusive, and it's an attempt to control your behavior. Last on this list, and perhaps the 900-pound gorilla in the room, because 800 pounds is enough, but last on the list, sexual and reproductive abuse. There's a whole lot here to unpack. If we break this down into small bits, this list falls under the banner that is still rather long. Sexual assault is using force, coercion, guilt, manipulation, or not considering the victim's desire to have sex. An oral, penetrative, manual, or genital-to-genital contact qualifies. Sexual reproductive coercion is exploiting a victim who is unable to make an informed decision about involvement in sexual activity. Sexsomnia, or having sex with, fondling, or groping a person who is asleep by someone who is asleep, qualifies as sexual abuse. Unwelcome touching, groping, fondling, or other touches like hand-holding or hugs can also qualify. Infidelity, when used as a weapon to taunt the abusive partner, is abuse. Withholding sex when it's meant as a method to control the abused partner's behavior is also abuse. Reproductive coercion involves a partner who restricts access to birth control, medical care, or tries to control the outcome of a pregnancy. Forcing a partner to have unprotected sex, or removing or intentionally breaking a condom or other birth control methods such as contraceptive ring or patch or IUD prior to or during the sex act is also reproductive coercion and is considered abuse. As you can see, there's much more to this particular category of abuse than many might have realized. And I suppose it's a good litmus test that if something makes you feel icky, then there's probably a reason, and it's probably not okay. The last item on this list has a little bit of a different face. It's called reactive abuse, and it's often used by offenders to push the spotlight off themselves and onto their partner. Victims will often react as if they've snapped, maybe scream, insult, or physically attack their abuser, will often then use that behavior to cement the idea that they're the innocent one. Just look at how unstable their partner is to do these things. These abusers will try their best to manipulate the situation so as to appear to be the wrong party. Often the offender will work to spread rumors, reinforcing their story. As you're familiar with, this is also emotional abuse, which I mentioned before. Things to consider when trying to determine the truth in situations such as these: look at the motives for the behavior. It's important to recognize a normal reaction to bad behavior and the abuse that caused it. A good way to recognize the difference between the victim who has reacted and the abuser who is manipulating is that the victim will almost always be willing to admit their mistakes. The abuser has a different motivation. It's counterproductive to admit fault when the object of the abuse is to garner sympathy and agreement from their peers. If the victim is at fault, the abuser doesn't have to do any work on self-improvement, and they can receive the validation they desire. If they do whip up an apology, it's almost always laced with 1520. And that is your primer for the sorts of abuses and associated behaviors that you may hear about tonight. I have a limited number of printed materials available for you up here if you'd like to take one with you. And thank you for coming to my family talk. I will take a few questions about maybe why I'm up here tonight if you'd like before they throw me off the stage. Anybody? Good luck.
Okay, I'm going to see if I can blow the mic up here. We're having the occasional issue with feedback and such, so if you see me sitting there madly trying to make sense of the soundboard, that's what's going on. My name is Dave Nesbitt, for those of you who are unaware. I would appreciate if you're going to throw a bottle in my general direction, if you could just give me a heads up, that'd be great. Stage lighting is kind of weird, you only see it after it passes the lighting, so be polite to your performers. I am one of the co-founders of this particular group. I have all sorts of strange, weird stories, but I will not be doing more than one tonight. You're all welcome. House inside joke, but if you want to kill half an hour and hear a weird-ass story, you wait about 2 months. Anyway, I am going to introduce this next gentleman. There are some of us here who are nerds. There are some of us here who are uber nerds. And then there's Lathan. Lathan is not just a alpha nerd, he is the alpha nerd, and he's part of the reason that I love him dearly. Every now and again, he is my bodyguard when I go out drinking to save me from my own stupid ideas. And I love his method of bodyguarding because more often than not, I'll be like, I want to go do the dumb thing. He's like, don't do the dumb thing. Are you going to try to stop me? And then he'll pout. Like, really pout, man, I'm telling you. It makes you feel bad all the way down to your soles and your shoes. So if you would be kind enough, please welcome my dear friend, Mr. Lathan Rao.
I'm tall. Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much, Dave. I actually felt kind of bad last time I was bodyguarding him. He and a few others wandered off and they'd gone into a speakeasy and I didn't see where they went. So I suddenly realized I lost it. I was like, oh God, he's gonna die. I'm like running around. Yeah, I was like, where is he? Where did he go? I had one job. One job. Well, as they said, I'm a bit of a nerd. I'm a nerd in a wide range of topics. Science, history, anime, comics. But what I'm actually going to be talking about a little bit is my martial arts nerddom. So I got into martial arts for the same reason that most people probably should have gotten into martial arts to this day. I mean, to become one with the universe in all of its various facets. And on a good week, I'll come home with those facets maybe 3 or 4 times. Actually, that's why I stayed in martial arts. But when I got into martial arts was from watching a lot of anime. And I was really drawn into this idea, like in Dragon Ball Z and G Gundam, that martial arts were a way to better yourself. A way, not to learn how to be good at fighting, but a way to actually make yourself a better person. And when I began studying martial arts around the same time, that same concept was there. And as I've gone and studied European styles, as I've studied African styles, yes, they're African martial arts too. They all have this same concept that through this practice, you can become and grow as a person and be able to use that throughout all of your life. And I've always found it very, very inspiring. It's one of the things why I like people is that, because universally, we've all come to this conclusion that we want to make ourselves better, and this is how we do it. Conversely, all of these cultures also agree that perfecting human character is a great deal of work. Thus, since a lot of people don't care enough to put forth that effort, there are a lot of people in the world who are assholes.
Yes, there are.
Now, at least the one good thing about martial arts is it does teach you how to deal with these assholes. Amusingly, avoiding just like killing them by knowing how to kill them. And people often ask me, hey, you're so nice, you're so friendly, you dealt with that person really, really well. And honestly, one of my biggest advantages of dealing with people who are like complete dicks is that while I'm talking with them, I can think to myself, yeah, I could break their leg this way, I could snap their neck this way. You know, I could actually know what he's falling, I could just toss him right out of the two-story window. And it's very cathartic. And it's a really easy to deal with people who are awful when you know that you always have the option to just toss them out a window. There's also another interesting thing about martial arts that I find is that there's a concept in Japanese martial arts that's called Mai. And it's proper distance or spacing interval. It's usually used to describe the distance between two opponents in order to execute a technique, but it also refers to timing as well. So the specific moment that one would want to move in order to make a technique work. I have found that the concept of Mai also applies to relationships and people. There are some people that you want to be really close to and spend a lot of time with. There are other people that you can like hang out with a little bit of time is all right, but also it's also good to have some spacing away from them. And there are some people where when you're at the party and they come in, it's like, well, thank you very much for the drink and the cookies. I'll be on my way. Thank you very much. Or they're over here, and I'm like, I will just be over here. It's gonna avoid that over here. Yeah, just completely. It's like some people you just do not want to have in your life, and it's a very important concept to understand that. You don't always really think about that we have a right to how we use our own personal space. Part of that cultivating of character is also knowing how to take care of oneself and the people that you care about. And that will often involve being away from people who are terrible influences or terrible presences in your life. There is another concept related to mine. The terms I forgot because I was busy looking at stuff on Steven Universe instead of looking up my terms today. But it means impact. And so there's minor distance. This term is the impact when a technique is being executed. And impact is also something really important both in life, because sometimes it's not enough to avoid assholes. You have to go up to them and say, hey, you're being an asshole. Stop it. You're being racist. You're being sexist. Stop grabbing people. Stop being a dick. These are things that need to be said. But we have built up this heavy culture of just wait for it to go away. And that makes us sick. It makes us sick physically, it makes us sick spiritually. And there's just so much, and you feel so much better when there's someone who's being a legit ass to other people. And if you can't throw them out a window because there's no hiding the body and whatnot, then if you can at least tell them they're being an ass, that often has almost the same amount of effect. Now there's also a little more between simply just aggression or avoidance in terms of martial arts. What I also really love about martial arts is the fact that there's all kinds of nuances, interactions in human relationships in combat and in life. And martial arts has been really good about helping me apply those concepts to the rest of the world. For example, simply where I position myself, how I space myself. Now, some of you may have noticed I'm kind of large.
No shit, really?
I know, right? So, if you're a very large person, leave up someone who may be a little smaller, or maybe potentially female, and you're kind of just like, right up here. That might be a little bit difficult. So, something I've actually learned is, depending on what I'm with, how I position myself, how much space I'm in, how tall am I? Even little things of just how we position ourselves, how we consider how our presence affects other people around us, huge thing. Huge, and a big part of aspects of respect. Part of this cultivation of self and also being able to also having empathy and respect for other people. You might have to break somebody's face, but you should do it with empathy. Like, I'm sorry that you were an ass, but unfortunately, you are harming other people, so now I'm going to have to break your face. I'm just, homework needs to break a card. I'm sorry I had to break your face for being an ass. Here's this nice card. You owe me $5 for the card because you were an ass. Now, And on this topic, and on this idea of respecting people's space, is also about another part of this aspect which comes up a lot is not letting one's own desires project on other people and cause them harm. That's like the very common in Bruce and Taoist thought. In Yoruba, West African culture, there's a concept called Ori Tutu. It's cool-headedness. So being calm, thinking things out, and not necessarily leading with emotion or desire first. So as a result of this, I try to be very conscious of how my own instincts and desires are affecting other people around me. This has worked out pretty well. On the flip side, it has added to my being very bad at flirting. Because I work really hard not to assume. Oh, like, we're in one together, taking off her shirt. She might be hot. Like, he's getting some toys out of the drawer. She might feel so constantly organizing. Like, I'm a person who probably would be alone in a room with a girl, and like, I'd ask her to go get a drink. Comes out with a drink, and she's naked on the bed with a sign saying, every fuck is a free taco. And my first thought would be, oh darn, I didn't get you a drink. Should I go back and get you something? You want some water? But eventually, I eventually will notice at some point. But it's something that I find is very important. It's better to err on that side of caution of not to assume. And then, of course, the idea of being direct about things also comes into play of just asking what the person wants, communicating, talking. Words are very effective in that particular aspect. And I think, and I find that's been something really, really helpful in terms of my martial arts training. So I guess in a way, actually, like, martial arts has helped me get laid. It's helped me make great relationships, and then they want to have sex with me again. Like, anybody can have sex once, but really, I think the trick is like when they want to come back and they don't think that you're an asshole afterwards. That I find is more impressive.
Okay, let me see. Ooh, this sounds a lot better. Can you hear me in the back now?
Yeah.
Cool. We've been going back and forth messing with the soundboard and making sense of like feedback issues and things like that. So from this point in time on, I'm hoping that the sound will be a little bit smoother for those of you who are performers. If you could be from about, say, about a foot from where I am back, that'd be great. Let me see, who is our next victim tonight? Her. Oh my God, seriously, could you have timed that any better? No, not her. Oh, my apologies. In that case, you've been here for a while. If you want to get her hands down, completely fine. All right. Well, they were. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so sorry. My brain is locked up today. You can't Canadians. I know. What can I say? I had one pint and it all went straight to my brain.
It's having concussions.
It is I, Captain Concussion, wandering here, there, and everywhere. Will you please welcome Miss Erica to the stage?
Sorry, don't hit your so much.
Hello and good evening, everybody. So as I said, or as David said, my name is Erica, and so I have a few poems to read for you tonight. They're kind of odd, kind of not. I was at a wedding this past weekend up in Minnesota, and I did a lot of my writing during our downtime that we had. Also because I needed to take my mind off of the bride and the bridezilla and everything going on with the said wedding. So, the first poem that I have, it is called Forever. And this one I did write a while ago. I think I've actually said this one a while ago at a samurai show, I can't remember. But anyways, here it goes. I am forever alone. Tainted, mutilated, and clean. Your thoughts and words, actions and decisions all have left me to be forever alone. I am forever alone. I've been thrown out like the cigarette butt you recently discarded out the window that now becomes landfill, just to be forever alone. I am forever alone, distant from you, breaking away from the abuse and the use, tossing the chains you held me in. No longer shall I be forever alone. I am free, free from your ridicule, unleashed from my cage, letting go of everything you had said to me. I am forever free. And that's that poem. So this next poem that I wrote is about my love of wine. Titled, For the Love of Wine. Because if we're gonna have a show about like hating on relationships and not hating on relationships, talk about the good, the bad, I have a relationship with wine, and it's a damn good relationship. So, for the love of wine. Wino Wenzel, aka me, only comes out when the time is right and the lights are low. She sings and dances till her heart's content and believes that she has wings till people tell her to stop. Oh fuck, where is my glass is a common phrase said. She can be seen with a bottle in hand and a lit cigarette in the other, still looking for her glass. Just wine to call her mother. Don't pour her a dry, only sweet wine will do, to calm her nerves and help her get through. When times are tough and work is stressing, she'll pour a glass and forget all the fussing. Oh, for the love of wine, the taste of fermented grapes, ease that of recent breakups, with hiccups and tears, random statements made, while recent memories fade. Wino Wenzel doesn't have much longer before she drinks herself into a deep slumber. And then my last poem that I have for tonight is one that I wrote Friday night after the reception when Wino Wenzel did come out, or not the reception, excuse me, the rehearsal. When Wino Wenzel did come out. So my apologies, it started good and then it went even weirder. It's titled, Well Shit. We fought, we cried, we laughed, we said goodbye. We spoke for a minute, you said for me to quit it. I told you to leave and go far, far away. You stayed around until I was safe inside. I did everything I could, yet you did all I should. I pushed and forced you out of my mind, but pulled our memories to where only I can find. I kept them hidden in my heart, only to seal it with nothing but a fart. I wrote this out while thinking and drinking, because nothing solves my loss like 3 bottles of wine and some butt floss. Well, shit. Thank you. That's all I have for tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much.
One more time for Erica Wenzel. Yeah, she kind of asked me before, as we were getting ready for this event, she's like, does it have to be specifically about relationships? Because I've got some stuff about a wedding. I'm like, weddings are big, stupid parties that are like because of a relationship. So no, that totally applies. Totally applies. I'm not here to stunt artistic growth. How are we doing so far? Okay, good. There we go, so much rejoicing. This is awesome. But yes, this picture right here is where we're depositing funds for the Women's Center for Advancement. We'll be making the rounds with that. One more performer, then we're doing a bit of an intermission so everyone has a chance to smoke and breathe, and then we'll be getting on with the show. So, as Nesbitt usually says, once you've had a beer, once once you've, validated your parking, just yes, please, if you could throw $1 or $2 in the bucket, it would mean a lot to us, and a lot of other people in our community.
Of any kind.
No fluids of any kind go into that vessel. Tonight. I'm sure that has served the city proud in getting many people into an elevated state of consciousness. Altered state of consciousness, not elevated. But, after some of this, right? So, for our next performer this evening, I met him doing the open mic circuit, and it turns out he's also involved in local professional wrestling as a referee, a ring announcer, and occasionally he has done a few matches. We actually went out to the WWE tryouts and the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame a couple of years ago, and that was just one of the more interesting random road trips I've taken. So, Pete Sakaris, if you're ready, sir, if you think you're ready to come up here and take the stage, if you think that you're prepared to deal with the force that is the city,
Let's do it.
then let's do it. I was going somewhere with this, but I don't have a title belt right now or anything else. So, ladies and gentlemen, Pete Sakaris!
All right, how are we doing? Now, I know those of you who have seen me perform, my fellow samurai, you usually see me come up here with my phone that has my set list. I decided that since tonight's show was mostly going to be about relationships, as my OCD is preventing me from uncurling the mic cord from my mic stand, that I'm going to splice in some jokes, but mostly it won't be me talking at you, it will be me talking to you about the various relationships I've been in. And there might be a joke or two in there, but it just has to come from here, because I went through a breakup about a year ago, so it's still fresh in my mind, so I just have to get that out there. The one joke that I had when I first started doing stand-up 5 years ago was this propensity of mine to date crazy chicks. And me, at the time, wanting to date a girl that was just a little bit crazy, not feeds Oreos for 12 cats crazy. And my lead into that was I dated this one girl who was nymphomaniac. And you might be saying to yourself, Pete, what would be so wrong dating a girl who was a nymphomaniac? Turns out the answer to that is everything. She didn't like wrestling. She had sex on the mind 24/7, or it was getting in the way of our relationship. She had some mental issues as well. And randomly, she said that one day she thought about killing me. And she tried to ease the pain by saying, no, hon, I think about killing other people too. That's a red flag on fire. On the plus side, I taught her the meaning of the phrase, ow, you're bending it. Yeah. The weirdest 6 months of my life at that point. And much more recently, about a year ago, I got out of a 3.5-year relationship. We had been together about 8 years before that in college. And during that time, she developed some mental issues, among those schizophrenia, bipolar 2, some other issues as well that are escaping me at the moment. But my jokes for that were that my OCD was starting to bleed into my relationship a little bit, because she would come up to me and be like, baby, when we finally do have sex, you're going to be amazing. And I would go, I know. And she'd be like, oh, it's going to be great. We're going to do it like 7 times. And I'd be like, oh, that's an odd number. I love you to death, but can we just bump it up to 8? We did, and it wasn't spectacular. And I'm a little bit cloudy at the moment, so I'm having difficulty remembering what the other joke was. If I can pull it up here real quick. This kind of applies, but there was a time where I had a loaner phone because the battery on my phone died, and it didn't have a slide-out keyboard, so I had to virtual text or voice text, and I gotta tell you, that made sexting that much more awkward. Because I'd be like, every part of me is yours, open parentheses, takes off shirt, close parentheses, send. Because what's good sexting without parenthetical notation? Yep. And I'm still having trouble remembering the second joke for this particular relationship because I'm trying to keep the mood sort of at an even keel because I know some heavy topics are going to be discussed tonight, and I wanted to act as sort of a buffer in between that. Let's see here. I'm sorry, guys. All right, whatever. But to sort of jump from the joke into the real aspect, over time, the relationship started to become a drain on my wallet, a drain on my mind, and a drain on my heart because there was a lot of introduction of friends that I didn't exactly approve who had worse mental issues than she did, and they started spreading information about me, and that's when I knew the relationship was going off the rails. But then I looked to my escapes, which are stand-up comedy, pro wrestling, competitive pinball, amongst other things. And I try to hold on to what's really important. I try to hold on to what makes me happy and what gives me joy and purpose and meaning, despite all of those weird relationships that I've been through in the past. I'm happy being single. I'm happy doing me, not just in the literal or figurative sense, but like...
Not the biblical sense.
Right. I'm happy making my own decisions for myself and not having to sort of rely on one person because relationships can be great. Good relationships can be great, but in my case, I've just found them to be stressful and time-consuming. And I just remembered the jokes I was going to tell. Well, it's not really a joke, more like a harsh reality. But during the breakup, she sort of like needled me into these, with these statements. Among those were, I hated wrestling after pretending to like it for 3.5 years. One that really hurt my joke-telling soul was, you're a comedian and you don't like my jokes. So I tried to tell her that I don't have to get everybody's jokes. It's not a prerequisite. I don't have to be from a small town in Iowa to get people's humor because with her schizophrenia and her mental issues, she'd be off her meds and she'd like snap at people and I had to apologize for her. It was, you know, it was like the military. I'm happy to have been in the relationship at some points, but I'm more happy to be out of the relationship. And the fact that I wished her well and hoped she'd take care of herself, because she had a lot of mental issues, I really wished the best for her at that time. Must have said something about the way that I treated her while we were in the relationship. And I'm not sure if any of the relationships I've been in would qualify as abusive. If you count like mentally abusive, sort of like manipulating me, to spending money and time and investment and emotion into it. I don't know if that qualifies because I feel like my experiences have been mundane in comparison to everyone else's, but I know we all share some common ground. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got about this particular topic. I know we have some tremendous performers coming up in intermission, so be sure to stick around for that. Donate, don't hate. You guys have been great.
One more time for Pizza Karas. And not to put you on the spot, sir, but there's something you said there at the end. that kind of struck a chord with me about how your experiences are mundane compared to everyone else's. That very thing is something I've been wrestling with a lot this year, and in just trying to come up with what the hell I'm going to talk about tonight. But most of my friends know that I have a man crush on Brian Fallon, lead singer of the Gaslight Anthem. And there's a quote from this gentleman that just kind of rings my head right now. It's, everybody's hurt and mine ain't the worst, but it's mine and I'm feeling it now. Just, yours doesn't have to be the most painful thing in the world for it to be relevant. That's me. Fucking talk about that. Yeah, hey, you're not making a mountain out of a molehill. You're saying, this is why I've been feeling shitty. This is the thing that I overcame this year. I ran a 5K 2 weeks ago and, screamed about it like it was the Olympics because, well, hey, I'm 32 when it was knocking on the door of 300 pounds a year ago, so I did not think I was going to be able to do that, so.
And then we ate cinnamon rolls.
Yes, and then we went for cinnamon rolls. Thank you, Liz. Liz dragged me through that almost by my ear. So hey, props to friends for holding you to your word, even if you show up hungover with a cigarette hanging out your mouth on the morning of the 5K. I'm totally getting this fitness thing down, guys. She's like, we're running intervals, and I'm like, okay, fine. Anyways. But, so intermission's coming up. Well, it's next year. But we have this pitcher we'll be sort of making the rounds with. So yeah, toss a couple bucks in there. Afterwards, you will see this Mad Hat Cat. She's not in the corner. Oh, no, she's hiding. Okay, she is in the corner. But yeah, we'll be hearing from Cat. We'll be hearing from Chris Wigg. We'll be hearing from Mikey Taylor, myself, and there's another piece from a family as well. So stick around. We've got some amazing things going on. Yeah, anything you have to chuck us for that, check out our resource material. Mr. Mikey is at our information table for that. Also, if you are looking for an awesome realtor or a great podcast, we have some information on that as well. But yeah, smoke them if you got them, refill your drink, and we'll see you in about 10 minutes. Thank you. Also, Shane Courtney is asked up at the bar, so whatever you were thinking of giving him, give him an extra $1, because that man is out tonight, so no one's listening right now. Okay, awesome. Love you, Shane. Keep pouring those drinks. Believe me.
Yes! Teresa, I'm not on time. I think we only come Okay.
Hey folks, we're gonna go here in roughly 5 minutes-ish, so yeah, get straight, stay settled in, say hi to everybody, and we'll be right back with you. Okay, come on, sit right here. Okay, Sydney, how we doing? All right. You've had a chance to drink your bladder, smoke a cigarette, do a line of cocaine, whatever it is that your advice is. I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to judge. And we have a colleague in attendance. That's exciting. So, seriously. Oh! Holy crap. That is the most awesome thing ever. It's like, yeah, this is my chair. What? Hey. Yeah, sure. Like, yeah, I'm sitting here. Where's my steak? All right, so we are back from intermission, and yeah, thank you all very much for donating generously. We are going to be moving the picture over to our information table here and have someone that we trust over there, just so that it's not as awkward. If people don't want to be like coming up and like stepping into the stage light to throw donations in. Sorry, excuse me. If like your roommate from college comes in and hands you the $600 in damages that he still owes you, and you're like, you know what, hey, I'll be a little bit charitable, you know, yeah, that's where it's going to be for the rest of the evening. But yeah, before we get going, I know I promised you Mad Cat would be our next performer, but Dave, the Canadian voice of God, has something to share this evening, and being that he is the voice of God and also Canadian, I kind of don't like to refuse these requests. So, ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome to stage Mr. Dave Nesbitt.
In Canada, the body check is just a nice friendly greeting. Hi, my name is Dave, and I have resting homicide face. Okay, we got some 12-step grads, so try again. Hi, my name is Dave, and I have resting homicide face. Thank you so very, very much. Now I won't have to kill as many as I thought. I work at a hospital. I work at Women's Hospital, and they have an area called the Neonatal Intensive Care Unit. It is a space where they perform miracles. You have kids that were born at like 28 months, and they manage to bring them up and get them to survive and just miraculously get them to get over a major number of medical hurdles. So I spend a lot of time there giving them this thing, giving them that thing, and one day I'm walking through, and I've got my resting homicide face on, I can't help it, it's just the way that I live. And one of the CNAs goes, I have to show you this thing in the drawer, we need another thing like this, but I can't remember the name of it, I gotta open the drawer. I'm like, okay, fine, open the drawer. She tries to open the drawer. It is a metal cart. Now keep in mind, this is kind of like a typical filing cabinet gone horribly wrong. It's about yay deep, and it's got like this, and it's a little bit stronger than your typical steel. And she's trying to open it, and she's failing. I don't know how you fail to open a cabinet, but that's just the way it works sometimes. And I'm walking past her, and I'm trying to make some sense of what she's doing, and a doctor comes walking by, so I move to get out of the way. And that's when the thing opened about as violently as a typical explosion. The corner of it slams out and nails me right between the kneecap and the actual knee. You know, right into the cartilage. And I am about to yell at the top of my lungs when I remember I'm in neonatal intensive care. And one of the things that can really inhibit brain growth with premature babies is loud noises. And all I can picture at this moment is little Timmy doesn't get into Harvard because I had to scream, "Ow, motherfucker!" at the top of my lungs. So I'm standing there hopping up and down, practically hyperventilating. The doctor is sitting there looking at me like, oh Jesus, I think he's going to kill everybody in the room. And the nurses and CNAs looking at me like, oh my God, I just... And I'm hopping up and down, and I walk away, and she follows. And I turn around, and I've never seen, and I feel really bad about it, but there's nothing you can do to control resting homicide face after you had whacked in the knee. And so I turn around, and she looks at me, and literally she goes like this. I'm like, what's wrong? She's like, you just really look pissed. I'm like, I'm pissed. I'm just not pissed at you. It's okay. Everything's fine. And she just goes, yeah, you say it's fine. Your eyes say blood makes the grass grow, kill, kill, kill. And I went, yeah. So I'm trying to work on putting on the same disposition and a happier face. But, you know, we live in the world that we live in. I'm a Canadian. I'm in America. That's the way things happen. Now then, let me introduce our next performer. Mad Cat is a very good friend of mine. They've been part of various productions that we've been in, whether it's the Samurai Spoken Word, we've done some music stuff together, and now we're doing a film. So if you please welcome to the stage my wonderful friend, Mad Cat.
Give me just a second here. It's gonna take. Hang on. A little scrapping. Okay, there we go. I got it.
I forgot to mention, she's post-surgical.
Adjust the mic for me because this is what always happens.
I got
It's
you.
too tall or I'm too short, however you want to slice it.
I got you.
Thanks, Brina. Greetings and salutations, my dudes, both local patrons here at the Sydney and those joining us through the World Wide Web. Which, did you know, you can actually still use for sharing videos of others being adorable and also for donating to worthy causes. You watching at home can look for the links in the description below. All of you can just take the cash monies and put it wherever the thing went right there with all those fabulous resources. I love it. I am the Mad Hat Cat, my pronouns are they, them, theirs, and no, that's not just because mummies have no gender. It's almost Halloween. This is a costume, you guys. I thought a mummy would be an appropriate creature to emulate tonight because I had 2 surgeries in the last 3 weeks and I'm still somewhat bandaged. Don't worry, I'm not dying any quicker than most of you. These surgeries were a good thing. They were removing icky, yucky stuff underneath my skin and loads of scar tissue from about 2/3 of my body. So hence the... but I'm also bandaged because my pain is on the inside, you guys. And I gotta get it out. I'm a mummy tonight because there are things that my mind has embalmed and entombed and honestly spent way too much time and money and effort on from something so rotten and dead and in the past. And if perhaps certain could give a fuck thieves would just stay the hell out of my burial chambers, this unholy mess of salts and resin might not keep rising from the grave to unleash an unholy train of terror, nightmarish terror on the living. I know that was a really long metaphor, but just stick with me here. Fear not, all shall soon be revealed. I'm really excited about tonight, my friends, because here's what it likes to try out. I want to make it cool and hip and fun to talk about date rape. What do you think, Whitney? Oh my God, you guys are great. So excited and enthused. I have a really good feeling about the next, 12 minutes. It's going to be great. So almost any human being will agree that rape is not a good thing. We don't need, a second year at college ethical philosophy discussion about whether or not rape is the worst crime a human can commit, and the, of course, inevitable debate, the secondary debate, about whether there's something intrinsically sacred about human sexuality. It always happens. There's always one guy. I don't want to talk to that guy. For now, let's just say that most people think, I would like to include all of you in that rape bad. Huh?
Yeah.
All right. Simple premise. Let's go with that. And so, why do we still have so many arguments about whether or not people who feel they have been raped were actually raped? And I think the answer is relatively simple. 7 out of 10 rapes, that's right, you're getting hit with a statistic tonight. 7 out of 10 rapes are committed by someone known to their victims. Either an intimate relationship or an acquaintance. And that fucking scares us, you guys. It makes us feel icky, It's really easy and requires little to no effort to condemn the dirty, trench-coated creeper in the alleyway for sexually assaulting an innocent stranger. It can be messy, though, and deeply internally conflicting to publicly recognize and speak against the actions of someone who, all in all, isn't too far away from just being us. But the fact remains, most assaults and near assaults and sexual harassment and sexual misconduct are carried out by people who are everyday citizens, not fringe pervert deviants, which is good, because I hate it when those bastards give my kinky tendencies that press. Now, harassment is not so much a series of incidents that I've experienced, rather just an annoyingly high fixture in the ballroom of my life, because I like to think my life is this very elegant and grandiose sort of thing. I'm very important, you see, in my mind. And this very high fixture is immensely grimy, and everyone responsible for cleaning it just continues to refuse to do so. But I have been on the receiving end of about half a dozen incidents of varying degrees of rape and sexual misconduct and blackmailing. My finally coming to terms with all of that is actually how I began my quest to become a samurai. I was a little bit like teary when it happened. It was all super serious, and now we're like making light of it and having fun. I've got a Guinness over there in the corner. I'm gonna return to it in a little bit. I'm pretty excited. I'm gonna tell you about lid number 2. And yes, please laugh childishly at the double entendre there. This guy totally deserves it. He, let's call him H. Was the best friend of my first serious romantic relationship. Let's call him P. Jesus, this is gonna get confusing. Charts! We need charts! Give me a second. Hang on. All right, here we go. Don't worry, this is gonna like help and be super duper awesome. I may have to require someone to come up and hold, and I love you forever. This is what happens when you don't invest in proper easels, people. Take note. All right, so we have H and me. We'll call me A. And we have P over here. P was a lovely first high school relationship. H is best friend. Now that looks like boyfriend, which, you know, it was a little homoerotic, but let's just be clear. As far as I know, they never went that far. Okay.
We're not here to judge.
All right, so first of all, I made a lot of mistakes before H did anything to me, a lot of them. So, you know, let's just go ahead and mark them off as I go through them. Then if I miss one, please come up afterward and tell me all about it. I feel the context of these stories is important, and I want to, you know, accept responsibility where appropriate, and maybe I'm also victim blaming myself before someone else gets the chance, who knows. So, I was in a relationship with me. Alright, now, what I thought was lovely time, you know, it was high school. I was too young and inexperienced to know that this relationship was going nowhere. I really love you, probably not, by the way. We probably saw each other way too often. I was probably way more invested in him than he was in me. I should have been concentrating more on school. Let's just call this like mistake. Just use little hash marks. And I also probably should have been concentrating on someone who was increasingly more interested in playing WoW. That's World of Warcraft for the non-nerds out there. And making fun of me for watching Yuri anime, that's girl love anime, because and he's more interested in mocking me than spending time with me outside our D&D campaign. Now I have to memorize this, I'm still pre-op brain fog. To be fair, he was also probably too young and inexperienced to know he should have just said to me, I think we should see other people. And honestly, I should have said that to him when he cheated on me the year before, avoided me for a week, and then, you know, called me on the phone while I was out of state on vacation and said, yeah, he cheated on me, but like, he thought it over and he decided to stay with me, so. Should have dumped his ass. Somewhere in between feeling inadequate and neglected / mocked, I made friends with a really sweet, freaky, geeky, dark person. Let's call him R. And, you know, we slowly but surely unintentionally plunged into emotional infidelity. It built up into this intense friendship for about a year. It reached a turning point where he left for a summer internship in Seattle, and we missed each other so much that he arranged to fly me out. Can I drop the thing? Probably not.
That's really good.
I'm not even going to attempt to draw the state of Washington, so it's probably just like a square, right? We were both still in relationships at the time that we weren't happy in. We both kept the trip a secret from everyone because we didn't want anyone to unnecessarily worry that we were doing anything surreptitious, because we didn't feel like we were. We were friends. We wanted to see each other. And, you know, it was a mistake. I'm going to call it the joyous Seattle mistake, because I was joyous. You know, he welcomed me by carrying me into his room and plopping me into a pile of balloons for my birthday. He helped me dye my hair. We had our own private Rocky Horror Picture Show party. We made strawberry shortcakes together. We watched Kaito Senku, and we watched Sweetie Squeed over her magical girl transformation sequence. And her adorable pet hedgehog is so cute. We went swimming in a stranger's pool that we found by Google Earth, because that was a thing weirdo kids did back then. And had a midnight picnic after hiking to the top of a hill that was perfect for moon gazing. We had the best time. And on the last day, our emotional infidelity turned physical, and maybe we should have seen that coming, but we didn't plan on it, and we tried to resist, but we couldn't, and here we are, on stage, me wrapped in toilet paper. I wish I could have recognized how happy we made each other, and we could have ended our unhealthy relationships. I could have committed fully to a relationship with R. Maybe if I had better insight at 18/19 years old, then what followed wouldn't have happened. Yeah, I still blame myself for getting raped multiple times. What else is new? I returned home 2 days late, and we were having so much fun together. My parents found out, or I missed my original return flight because we were having so much fun. My parents found out that I lied, and I wasn't actually in Iowa. I was extra grounded. I told half-truths to Pete to cover up where I actually was. I started a summer class at UNO, and just for, location's sake, let's put UNO over here. Class, learning, big representation of mortarboard. Test. I got a call on one of the first days of class as I was walking home. It was from Pete. He said, "We're done." What? You and me, we're done. I insisted that I come over there and we talk about it. Yes, I had done something secretive, though with no intention of cheating. And yes, I had done something wrong. Intention was irrelevant here because I had willingly participated in that physical infidelity. I participated in my own free will. And it did give me a wonderfully, lovely, intimate time, and it was the first true orgasm caused by someone other than me, so that was cool. I probably deserved to get broken up with, and maybe to be humiliated in front of Pete's family and held at the floor mates at his college. I did not deserve what happened the next day. My first hashtag why I didn't report, being perpetrated by a UNO exchange student. And I absolutely did not deserve the method and the person behind my infidelity being exposed to Pete. So here's where it gets real deep, like all the photos and the red twine and the thumbtacks are coming together, guys. Enter H. Pete's best friend, someone who thought incredibly highly of himself, though he did recognize his level of self-worth was more of a personality trait than a true assessment of his qualities. He loved guns and the military. He was obsessed with the Sword of Truth series, enough to have the Wizard's Age rule, deserve victory, tattooed on his shoulder. Thought of himself as an Asatru/Odinist, and despite his family housing a Korean exchange student, he seemed like a couple dozen basement meetings in Fort Calhoun away from starting down the path of white nationalist bullfuckery. Just kind of a, hindsight sort of thing. He also got me my job, my cashier's job at Baker's when I had to leave the spring of my freshman year, which was a few months before I tried Seattle State. You would like to break it. I know. She is fantastic. And when H suspected me of cheating on his best friend, he installed a keylogger on P's computer because he knew I used it whenever I went over there. He gleaned my email log information. He hacked into my email. He gathered up a bunch of chat and email evidence against me, copied and pasted it into an email to P, and sent it. This is when the breakup happened. But I didn't know how it happened until a month or so later. H and I still worked together at Baker's. He was my friend and manager. It was humiliating to see him day after day. He apparently watched me for weeks, showing up at work, doing my job as best as I ever did. But I was clearly devastated. I was remorseful. I was sleep deprived, feeling hopeless, and not that he'd actually care, but I was acutely suffering from PTSD from that first hashtag why I didn't report. My depression only got worse when a 9 months pregnant woman with a suspended license and no auto T-boned my car, rolled me, and totaled my only means of independent transportation. And that's when H started to move in on me. Beep, 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 beep. Creepy face. Oh, no, wait. Well, at the time, that's accurate. Later, I got a beard. One night, he offered me a ride home from work. So I wouldn't have to keep struggling with the bus. And whether or not he thought he was just doing the noble thing, I have no idea. None of his niceties to me excuse what he eventually did. I accepted his offer. Mistake, I'm gonna throw over 3 times. And he gave me a few more rides home after that. Mistake. And soon after, one evening at the end of a long shift, he asked if I wanted to go to IHOP for food before he gave me a ride home. I wearily accepted the offer. Mistake. And was mostly quiet the whole time. Why on earth would the best friend of my understandably angry ex want to come hang out with me? And after our food came, H confessed. He told me about the keylogger that he installed on his computer. He told me about hacking my email, about the copying and the pasting and the blowing up of my life. And I listened, and I nodded, and I forgave him immediately, because that's the kind of person I was. And he was shocked. I told him I understand why he did it. He didn't understand how on earth I could understand. I was content to leave it at that. But he kept offering me rides home after work. He started buying me snacks and drink for my break. After like 2 weeks, he sent an incredibly long email with the subject heading goats for some reason. I don't know why. Outlining how I had floored him so completely with my forgiveness and my remorse over the situation with me, and that I had so many good qualities that he had fallen in love with me. You guys saw this guy, right? Like, it's total classic, like TV sitcom kind of stuff. I told him as gently as I could I didn't feel the same way, that I was still in love with Pete. But he persisted. He started offering rides to work, which were completely out of his way, in addition to the rides home. He started calling me Nichan, which, for those of you who have a life and don't watch anime, is a Japanese term of endearment for a younger brother. Looking back, again, hindsight is a funny thing, it was a weirdly incestuous, flirtatious nickname from someone who had watched like a few too many animes where an older stepbrother starts inappropriately lusting after his new younger stepsibling. No. He bought me jewelry. He bought me a jean jacket. He started inviting me to hang out with him and his friends outside of work, and since I was a social pariah at Pete's dorm, also by the way, so, you know, hanging out with all the IT nerds, I lost everyone in one fell swoop, except for R. That guy's great. Or at least he was, I don't know where he is now. And because I had a metaphorical A, you know, outside my body, and well, maybe it was a C or an S because it was 2007, and you know, that's more hip and cool to call someone a C word or an S word. You decide what those mean. And since all of my high school friends were out of town for college, I started accepting these invitations. Mistake! Yes, it warranted the operatic tone because this is how this shit started. Because it's my fault, obviously. H was also doing all of this, by the way, without telling P, his supposed best friend. He was telling me nothing. No mentions that he was hanging out with P's ex, more than he did when P and his ex were together. Not to stereotype, but H and his friends were the kind of kids / young adults whose idea of fun 8 times out of 10 was sitting in someone's basement drinking handles of vodka and spiced rum. This has never been me. I never drank or used recreational drugs in high school. I was prescribed Adderall and I fucking hated how it made me feel. But no, it was awesome. But I was in a weird and vulnerable place. I had a job, but I hated it. I had to leave university in the spring of my freshman year. I wasn't working on any art, except for a few pieces I traded with art, which was, yet another thing that he did that made me feel alive and hopeful and worthy. And so I'm sorry to say, for a little while, I was a lame, underage basement drinker in Fort Calhoun who just wanted to forget how fucked my life felt, how I regretted things, how much I hated myself. But one night, I wasn't drinking at all. I was actually doing okay, because after a trip to Suncoast Video at Westeros, there's no mention Suns, even though it's still around, I had found the entirety of the television show Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's The Lost World. And I was pumped to watch it because they'd stopped showing it on TNT, and I was seriously jonesing. It's a really good show. Look it up at the end time. And as had become habit after about a month or so, I was over at H's house, and he seemed excited to watch this show that meant so much to me. Like a lot of young adults, you know, his TV and his DVD player were in his bedroom, which was in the basement of his parents' house, and would be isolated from interruptions or disturbance than chaste behavior, entirely inappropriate for people who are supposed to be friends to attempt to engage in. So that's where we watched. We binged 1 or 2 discs, and eventually it got dark. We kept watching more and more episodes, and I eventually got tired. Eventually I fell asleep. Eventually I fell deeply asleep. Eventually I woke up with a hand up my below-the-knee jean skirt to fingers inside me that I never asked for or agreed to have touch me anywhere, let alone my innards. Like, I was dazed, still half asleep, angry, ashamed, not to mention very physically sore. Seriously, what the hell were you doing down there, bro? Trying to pluck a spoon from the garbage disposal? I hate to admit, I don't shudder at the thought of that hand descending into a grave filled with sea. I don't shudder at all. But I did shudder as I pushed him away and I stumbled to the edge of the bed. I cried and I said that shouldn't have happened. Like I had something to do with it. That he shouldn't have done it, and why did he do that? And I still loved P, and why did he fucking have to do that? He apologized. He sighed over me saying that I was still in love with his best friend. He called me Nietzsche. I felt fucking gross. To this day, I can't watch an anime and hear someone call someone Nichan, and it was wah. It's ruined Japanese for me. It's terrible. He said he'd take me home. My brow was furrowed and my mouth was locked the entire drive. I felt fucking gross and disgusted and stupid for having in my mind, yet again, wrongly assumed that some male could respect my body, respect my no, respect me, treat me as a human being with my own will, my own desires, and my own worth. Unlike my first wild report, this one didn't leave the country the same day. I had to look at him, deal with him every day at work, and at the time, he was the only friend I had. He made sure of it. He kept offering rides, kept me away from P's dorm, kept isolating and gaslighting me, made sure to keep me drinking with him and his buddies. And I was still reeling with my first, from my breakup with P and from my first rape, and plus my second rape. I didn't know what to do, and I still assumed all of it was my fault. I had fallen into thinking I had no other options, that I had to keep going with whatever this horribly inappropriate friendship was. I had nothing, and no one else, and I best fucking deserve this shit situation, so I best just shut up, drink up, and get used to it. Now eventually, P did get wind. Oh, actually, this wipe will rub it up, so. Just so you guys know. P did get wind of all this time and energy and money H was spending on me. He got wind that H was interested in dating me. He started calling me again. And he, started thinking H had made up this incriminating email that he'd sent, that the whole ordeal had been a plot. I'm like, oh, shock. No one likes me that much. I meekly tried to defend H because that's how deep I was in and how little I thought of myself. So, no, he was right. I did a bad thing. He just tried to protect you. P was furious. H still wanted to date his nature. I still felt gross and disgusted and ashamed and stupid and hopeless and worthless and undeserving of any treatment better than what I had been receiving. After the Lost World non-consensual manual handling, I'm very proud of that wording, by the way, non-consensual manual handling, there wasn't another physically inappropriate incident, well, sexually inappropriate. He constantly stood way too close. put his arms around me, touched my hair, until I left for a temporary job for as a nanny for a friend of my mom's. Now, a month or two before that, I actually had the good sense to start dating R. Yay, sparkle, sparkle, yay. Seriously, he was a really good guy. And even though I still had feelings for Pete, we were super happy. We were having all kinds of fun adventures and just really being enjoyed being around each other. I felt worthy of happiness again. That was not a mistake. Good choices. I skipped the routine, excess drinking. I stopped doing it. Good choices. Good choices being made all around. And I was also able to spend time at the UNO dorm again without getting stared down by half the fucking hallway. I was really sad to be separated from R for the duration of this nanny assignment, but I was also secretly thrilled to get away from my grocery job and from H. He was not thrilled that I was leaving. He insisted he would visit me. I told him it would be silly to waste the gas money. Please don't come. He kept insisting. I asked him not to visit. Guess what he did? Now guess it's wow, you guys aren't paying attention. He visited! Of course he visited. And of course I felt guilty when he came all that way. I felt I couldn't just not see him for a little bit. But obviously I felt, this visit was inappropriate because I lied about it to my mom's friend. I came up with this crazy story. I just go to the coffee shop, I'm going to go see a movie, and I go, okay. My employer at the time, she was almost like an aunt to me, felt it wasn't okay for me to just go off with someone I just met, and she didn't know, and she kind of had a responsibility because I was her friend's kid. I get it. And so I told H, sorry, I tried, can't do it. And he lamented for hours and hours over text, pled me to come out anyway. And I said, no. But I caved. And did we go out somewhere? No. He stopped at Walmart so he could grab a cheap DVD player so we could watch a movie. He drove to his motel room and pulled out a bottle of Santa Jerry's, which I still to this day cannot drink. So sad. And I was stressed and uncomfortable and still not making great decisions around people who betrayed my friendship, so I did drink a little bit. And what did guess what else? I fell asleep. I fell asleep again. I really need to learn that it's not okay to fall asleep in front of people because it will only lead to tragedy. That's a good lesson, right? Ooh, I just felt everybody. It's okay, it's a very sad message. And guess what I woke up to? Slurping in my ear canal, having my breasts sloppily squeezed, and being awkwardly intercoursed by a smelly, heavy, baby-faced, red-nosed shithead who had the dumbest fucking notions of what friendship was. Again, dazed and still half asleep, I told him, what the fuck? What? I told you before I didn't want this. I'm dating someone. What are you doing? Get off. He finally did. And stammered, said, honey, face quiet, but you were moving around, but I thought you liked it. And when I said incredulously, exasperated, I was asleep. I was fucking asleep. He started backpedaling me, saying, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it, I'm sorry. Like a kid who's been caught tormenting the neighbor's cat for like a fourth time in as many weeks, and is just frantically going through the motions of an apology in order to avoid punishment. I discovered a new level of feeling gross and disgusted and stupid and ashamed. After a while, he finally drove me back to the guest house I was living in. I don't think I talked to him for the remainder of my stay. No calls, no texts, no email. I was fucking done being nature. I returned to Omaha. I picked back up my grocery job, though in a different role, one that limited my interaction with H. I started spending more time with R and avoided H as much as I could. I was almost kind of happy for a few months. But once again, due to my ignorance of youth, I made some not great decisions. He eventually convinced me to get back together, so mistake. And after wrestling with it for a little bit while, I did agree to get back together. And I still wonder if he wasn't just getting back together with me because he wanted me because he couldn't have me. And I still feel really terrible about how things ended with R. And to this day, I wish that we could have at least ended up friends. In any case, being back with my first love, had a honeymoon period. Eventually, H and P and I were all hanging out together. Mistake. Running out of room for all my mistakes I'm making here. It was so organic, don't edit it out. After a couple years, H said he didn't feel right about not telling P about us, meaning the non-consensual sexual activity that occurred. Or not occurred, it didn't like fucking tripped and fell on top of me. He fucking made a decision twice. And maybe some other times, who knows, I'm a deep sleeper. That was a dark joke, guys. You can laugh uncomfortably about it. So I said, I never wanted any of that, and I told you so. This is not P's business, because we weren't together at those times. It's between you and me. And if you tell him, you are no longer my friend. Guess what happened?
Never said a word.
Oh my god, how did you know? That was like total swing dick. No, we fucking told him, Landon. We fucking told him. And it ruined, and life blew up again, and, you know, it fucking stopped. And I was re-traumatized all over again. But, at least this time, I learned my lesson a little bit. You know, the lesson about not getting myself raped and whatnot. After a couple months of mourning a stupid fucking handwritten letter saying, you don't have to forgive me, Pete, but I'll always love you. Gross, younger cat, why? I did my best to let the relationship with Pete go. And I confronted H about the bullshit move he pulled, because it was fucking bullshit. And I said he'd just done it because he was mad at me, and he was mad. If he couldn't have me, no one could. Unfortunately, I got fucking no closure from that encounter because he just kept repeating with what sounded like a script from his new PayPal job at customer service. Regrettably this and regrettably that, while actually never taking any responsibility for his own actions and basically just putting it all on the complainant. And I drove the fuck away, furious, only mildly troubled by the thought that, wow, you really deserved to have this sad little pecker octo barricaded with an apple slicer. Well, I guess it would be no boom barricaded because of the middle bit that's meant to core the apples. Yeah, no boom barricaded. This sad little pecker deserved to be no boom barricaded with an apple slicer. I was only slightly troubled by this thought, only slightly. And I somehow miraculously didn't see him for 8 years. And then Alamo opened, one of my favorite fucking places now, you guys. And one day he showed up there, and he was in the crowd, and I hid amongst my friends, and I didn't see him. And then he showed up in another fucking movie, and he was 2 rows in front of me. And then he showed up in another fucking movie, and he was sitting right next to the best friend of my partner, and I had no fucking choice but to text the best friend of my partner and be like, holy shit, he's there, he's sitting right fucking next to you, just to not feel alone with this goddamn situation and keep reliving these horrible flashbacks and feeling like I was having a goddamn heart attack. Kind of like I am now, because I haven't fucking eaten all day, you guys. I'm so hungry. And now, every now and again, he shows up in Princeton as a door guy checking IDs. And because it's not all the time, I forget. And I'm going out places with, my usual group of people. I recognize him. He's grown a douchey fucking beard, which let's turn that back over so I can add the douchey beard. There we go. Douchey beard. To try and cover his dumb fucking baby face, it doesn't look good. And he's never acknowledged me, and maybe that's because he doesn't recognize me. Maybe he doesn't think he has anything to say to me. Maybe he doesn't feel like he knows what to say. It doesn't matter. He's still there. I still have to fucking deal with running into him all the time. And I don't want to leave you guys feeling really low and depressed because this was kind of a sad and depressing story. I tried to throw in a few laughs here and there. So, I want to leave you with this. Think about rape. Just do it. Especially the ones where people know they're rapists, because that's the most common kind. If someone you know has been raped, they probably knew their assailant. Think about as much as you healthily can, like don't ruminate, don't get crazy over it. Take care of your brain. Give the accused, a relative benefit of the doubt because in most cases, it was just two people there. But also don't dismiss victims. Learn the signs of abuse. Hey, look at that. There's all kinds of great resources at that table over there where there's also a cup where you can throw some donations in to help people who need some help getting out of situations like these. And keep in mind those signs of abuse for yourself and for others. It's going to be difficult to think about all this. It makes us feel icky. But if we all feel icky together, I think we're going to be okay. And I think we can make things better for all of us. Thank you, guys.
One more time for Mad Hat Cat, please. And yeah, you're not losing your mind. That was an extended tech thing. But yeah, I want to thank Kat for sharing her story. Some deals have been made in the background here to make the rest of the show work. But that all being said, I'm on Women's Center for Advancement's website here. I'm just saying, if anyone is experiencing anything close to what she just described, or you're in your own weird situation and you need help, you just need someone to fucking talk to. Their hotline, 24/7 hotline, for anyone experiencing domestic abuse, sexual assault, human trafficking.
You can also
Etc.
me. Find me on Facebook. I'll totally listen to your stories.
Yes, she will. I will. A lot of people in this room will. But sometimes they're in that place. But I just want to put this out there. Hey, their 24/7 hotline is 402-345-7273. There's, I believe, another hotline containing the information up here. I remember back in January, I was driving home from work at like 8 in the morning, and they were airing some of the victim testimony, victim impact statements from the Larry Nassar trial, the guy in Michigan who had abused gymnastics team members for like 30 plus years. And someone was just very wrongly stating to the judge and everyone else just that, hey, he was allowed to do this for so long because no one had the strength of character to come forward and say, this isn't right. So, same thing. For lack of more flowery or delicate term, just if someone comes to you and says there's a problem, listen to them and direct them in the direction of resources. So, anyways, that being said, thank you again, Kat, and we're going to keep moving for the night. Our next performer it's not a dog, unfortunately. I love dogs, I really do. I think we could all use that for the evening. But our next performer has some things to speak about. We're going to be celebrating at Beer Cave her birthday here in a few hours. But ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to stage Mighty Mouse.
Hello, I'm the Mighty Mouse. I have not always been the Mighty Mouse, and we're going to hear about that. This doesn't have a name. I wrote this half an hour before I was supposed to be here. We're going to bear with me on this one. I'm learning I don't need to be the mouse scurrying to the corner to hide. I don't have to be picked apart by you or the emotions that I bear inside. See, I don't have to love you just because you think that I do. You can throw me into dressers and you can slam me through doors, but that doesn't make you a man, just a scared little boy. And I wish I would have known the first time you gripped your fingers around my neck and the edges of my vision blurred as I choked out for you to stop, and all you did was twist a smile back at me. See, you said, man, I can never play around with you anymore. Each time you'd squeeze for longer like you wanted to hear my heartpound, I knew I should have run. Then I'd slip the drugs and press me against the wall. See, I'm just a mouse, thinking if I could just make myself small enough, you I'm learning how to scream, make my voice really loud before I play dead, because maybe if your roommate hears me, he can play catch and release, and I will have to deal with this. Some days, I wish to find a trap, just so I could get myself an empty case. You throw my lifeless corpse in the trash, and we all know you wouldn't really feel bad about it. You spew your threats like venom, then give me so much love, things would start to feel normal again, though. I can never forget the time you held a knife to my throat in a room full of your friends and spewed about how Jess was the best, right? See how she doesn't even flinch? See how there's total trust in this relationship? See how I just didn't want you to fucking dig it in? I remember the heat of the tears on my cheeks, even when my family believed in you over me. I was just a piece of meat for you to chew. You loved me as a mouse. I'm learning I don't have to be the mouse scurrying to the corner to hide. And that is that. So basically, most of you know I was really young and in a relationship that I shouldn't have been in. And being really young and in a relationship that I shouldn't have been in, I didn't know who to go to or to talk to. And most of you in this room have tried to knock me upside the head for it a couple times. Being really young and dumb, I didn't listen. So I just wanted to speak for the younger people who may be watching at home because they're not in here. There are people you can talk to and you don't have to put up with it. Even if they're older than you and you're really not confident. I forgot the word. You can walk away from that. I did. I'm here. I got a group of people that are like super amazing. And back then, I didn't think I deserved any of that. So that is all.
One more time for Taryn. Yes, I just got done washing my hands as I came out from that. So epic timing, epic timing. Thank you seriously so much for sharing that. It is her birthday at midnight, so after we're done here, we will be relocating, I think, to Beercade. And so, yes, those activities can commence. But yeah, we're a little pressed for time a little bit here. I want to thank our next performer and also Mikey Taylor because yeah, with Cat's set that did run a little bit longer, and at a certain point in that, I went back to them and I said, hey guys, this is something that needs to come out and needs to be said. Like, are you cool with letting it ride? And they both just immediately said, yeah, hey, no, we're cool. So thank you for understanding how live entertainment works and that human moments need to happen. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Mr. Chris Wynn!
Oh shit. Okay, while I figure this out, let's give Dan one more round. Thank you. I really struggled putting together stuff to talk about tonight because I realized I haven't been put into a lot of these situations and I want to be full of empathy. So I will talk about some of my experience with abuse and bad relationship, as well as kind of talk about a little bit of that. So for my job, I work currently in a field where I manage a team that reviews content for a large social media platform. And I get to go to conferences and stuff. And so just about a month ago, I went to the Crimes Against Children's Conference, which is also like the Nightmare Fuel Convention. And that's where there was a lot of education. They actually had the lawyers who prosecuted Nasser do a guest lecture on that, and there was tons of awakening information that was a very hard convention to go through. And part of the other side of it is learning like how to deal with wellness. From my perspective, for my team, for people that review a lot of this horrid content on the post for us.
Yeah.
Okay. Hurry up.
Hashtag killing it.
Thank you. So last show I did one of the things I talked about, I'm going to review with that because it ties into this, which is about 5-6 years ago, we had an incident where there was an escalation of child pornography on the site. And the philosophy with something like this is once you discover this, you need to investigate it. You can't cover this shit up. You need to get to the roots of it and find out. You work with the feds and you put this case together. So we did that and we found the incident and we handled this, but it sort of led to the next question is how much pornography was on the site in general. And so when you build a model or a classifier to find something, you need to feed the computer a bunch of information, and we do what's called false positives and positives. So we had to find a bunch of porn and feed that to the machine and say this is what porn looks like, and then we feed imagery that's not porn and we say this is what it's not like. Then we turned it on, and all of a sudden, within milliseconds, this giant number started like rolling, and it was getting into the hundreds of thousands, and I was like, shut it off, shut it off! And because remember the philosophy is when you discover it, you have to look at it, you have to investigate it. And what we had was hundreds of thousands of images that we had to look at that was porn. The team consisted of me and another person at this time. So we had to divide each about, between 250,000 imagery and say, dick, not dick, 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 dick.
Dick, dick, goose, really?
Dick, dick, goose. Yes, in hindsight, I realized there are a lot of people in this organization that are qualified to help out. We looked at so much penis that you could literally have built a highway to Chicago. I did the math.
That's a lot of 6 inches.
It is a lot of 6 inches. A lot of people should not be sending pics. You're a moderator.
It's true.
You know this. So, about January, February, we decided that we wanted to build a classifier to look for harassment because there was a movement that you may or may not have heard about. And what we discovered was a little staggering because we turned it on and there were hundreds of thousands of things that started to feed into our queues, which means we needed to look at these instances of harassment. And what we discovered is, like on all social media platforms, we have a harassment issue. And if you start to do the math, what we discovered was a very, very small set of people, men, white men that live in the Midwest, seem to harass and be accounted for a large percent of what we saw as those examples. And once we actually brought the hammer down on these specifically, these targets, these white men who live in the Midwest, we saw the harassment levels initially just completely fall to the floor and just come down. Because these dudes were held accountable, and we said, knock it the fuck off, you're done, and kicked them off the platform, all of that kind of went away. And we wouldn't have been able to do that without part of this movement. It's amazing that how susceptible we've become to looking at this harassment. And I don't mean my team, I mean everyone. The fact that this exists, but people don't report it. There's a lot of like, well, that's just what people do, that's what guys do, this is just the thing. Like, round of applause, how many people have gotten a dick pic that is unsolicited? So, in leadership, I had a person that was in my team, and there was a guy, this is at a separate company, there was a guy who was let go from the team, and she asked me, she says, why does this guy let go? And I said, oh, I can't really talk about that, like, we don't go into those details. And she said, oh shit, I was really glad this thing was gone. Did you know that he's been sending dick pics to like everyone in the office, every woman in the office, for like the last like 9 months? And I said like, well, no, right? I didn't know that. Obviously, we would have done something about that. I said, so you were the recipient of that? Oh, yeah. Like pulls up her phone, like, this is like company I am. She's like, here's like 3 from Monday. And I said, geez, oh, okay. Well, I said, if you don't mind me asking, like, why didn't you say anything? And she says, oh, well, I mean, it's annoying, but it didn't bother me. And I said, okay, well, for future reference, fucking say something, because though it may not be like, maybe for you gauge it in a way that you're like, yeah, it's okay, I can deal with it, I have the resilience for this, it's just a thing. My phone often gets molested, it's cool. For others that don't have that voice, they don't have the means for that. And trick question, do you think this dude was a dude in power? Yeah.
Yes. Therefore, if you would have reported it,
Yes. Then
would it matter?
retaliation. Yeah, exactly. Anyways, enough ranting of that. The part about bad relationships I did want to talk about are bosses. Because we can talk about loving relationships and relationships in which we give that, but sometimes we don't have choices with the relationships within our employment. And there can be bullying, or there can be just kind of like negative consequences that come out of that. 100 years ago, because I'm old, but not as old as Dave. I worked for a theater company, and it was like my first professional theater gig, and I was so excited. At that time, I was working for my father in like a family business, and I got this contract signed for this, and I went to this, and it was an amazing, very deep production of a show called Frog and Toad. And I played the intellectual turtle. And within that show, I started going to these rehearsals, and there were like all of these guys who had like these really like thick backgrounds that were like very much put them in debt, I would imagine, of going to like, one was at Yale, one was like North Carolina School of Performing Arts, et cetera, et cetera. And then there was me, who worked at his father's office and didn't have that background. And I felt like awkward, and I felt out of place. And I remember the director, he sensed it, and he used to just pick on me just to be a douche. And during rehearsal, when we get done, he'd just give me these notes, and they were just like, all right, yes, I want you to be more obsequious, yet aloof. I want more like glamour, but yet more glitter. And I was like, what the fuck does this mean? And then I would go home, and I would just be so upset. And I remember one day, he stops me when I was saying a line, and the line was, who's the mouse? That's all I had to say.
Me!
Well done. We didn't even plan that. And he says, Chris, I would like you to say, who's the resilient rodent? And I snapped and I said, what does that mean? What does that mean? And I like all of a sudden found his voice, and I put him off. He was tilted, and he was like, never mind, go back to the way it was. And something happened. The curtains dropped, and I saw the wizard behind him. He was buck-ass naked. I had no idea what the fuck was going on, and I realized he was just a better actor than I was. Just and I found that thing within me, and I realized I wasn't going to take shit from him or from any of the other bosses, and I have that privilege to do that. And later on, in those situations, I was put in a thing where I watched a different boss in that organization hook up with a 17-year-old girl, and he was 31. Icky. I reported it. The people above us, there was nepotism. It just went away. There were situations where I saw him gamble away almost $8,000 that we got from performing on the road, and it was an impromptu thing where they said, you do this other show, we'll give you the date, and they ended up giving them cash. Next place that we went to happened to be Vegas, and that went away. And with this abuse of power, like, no matter what I said, you kind of just felt helpless because of the nepotism that went behind it. So, to cut it short, I will say, though this should exist, it's a different dynamic today. And I think, like, by seeing and reading all of these stories that are coming out and saying the shit that, like, and calling it out what it is, despite the fact you have to have that courage. You have to have the courage, not just for yourself, but for the others that can't do it. And you have to listen to these stories to take action on this, because we have to put this shit into light. Otherwise, it will continue to grind in the dark. So, thank you for your time.
Good enough, Chris, good enough.
One more time for Chris Wiggs, ladies and gentlemen. It's been said before, but I mean, it's been, I think, at least a year since we all got together to do something, and I think that was for Michael Garro. But I mean, look, yeah, it's been a couple of years since I think all of us got in the same room, and I was nervous as hell about doing this, but this is exactly why I wanted to get these people talking about the same topic, just because there are so many different perspectives and so many things to consider. So thank you, Wade, thank you, Kat, thank you, Taryn, thank you, Jess, everybody who has contributed to this tonight. I have been a nervous little wreck dealing with my own personal stuff, and as well as trying to get this show off the ground the last like 2 months or so. But holy crap, we're here and we're doing it. Thank you, Sydney, and everyone who's here. So, I really been a sigh of relief. Like, this is heavy material, and like Lassie's pulled up waiting for a shot. But hey, two shots for Lassie.
What,
Okay.
Lassie, y'all did well, Chris?
That's just the most awesome thing I've seen. It's like, okay, yeah, hey, they've got super stock or whatever. It's like, Jesus, pulled up, sitting there. It's like, yeah, hey, who's got my whiskey? Come on, I'm here. It's my chair. Anyways, our next performer was also instrumental in the inspiration for me to do this kind of thing. Not to put anyone on the spot, but it's just that there's a lot of talk about like the stereotypical person who is the victim of abuse, etc., etc. And this next gentleman has been a friend of mine for, I'm just going to say 10 years. I've had a few drinks, so math is kind of not my thing right now. But good friend of mine. He is one of the youngest Aikido instructors in history of the United States of America. And other people who were good friends with him that I'm talking to said, yeah, we never thought it would be this guy. So, not to call you out if I'm being a dick right now, I'm being a dick right now. But ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to stage Mr. Mikey Taylor.
You all float up there. Wrong direction.
So apparently there's a sex act that I've heard about, that guys do. I've heard about it, I haven't done it much. It's called The Stranger, where the guy will lay on his arm until he falls asleep and then he'll masturbate because it feels like someone else. And so I've had time to think, and I wondered if there was a female equivalent to this. And I decided, no, there's not.
Called the Hitachi.
Well, because there's really not. Because if a female wants the sensation of clumsy, fat fingers fumbling around in her naughty bits, she will go ask a guy to do it. I've been waiting for like a couple of years to even say that, because I've been away. And a lot of you don't know where I've been. I heard rumors I was dead. I heard rumors I was in prison. I was in hell. A little bit about me, some of you don't know me that well. Like Joe said, I am an Aikido instructor. I've been teaching for over 25 years. I've been studying for around 30. I also own a special effects company. I make blood and guts and gore for fun and for a little bit of money. I also play a sometimes zombified psychotic killer clown named Twinkie. And I harass people. So when I say that where I've been is I've been in a horribly abusive relationship. Physically, mentally, emotionally, I was abused. And I didn't think it could happen to me. So I am here to tell you that it can. I was isolated from my friends, and I apologize for that. I was isolated from all my hobbies, my family, and life. I was isolated from my own personality. I basically looked at the ground a lot. I didn't have anything. I wasn't even known as Mikey Taylor because I was immature. So were my friends. So was everything that I did. Very immature. The way that I dressed, immature. I fucking like this and like this. I'm comfortable. But everything was taken away from me. Most of my things were destroyed. I really don't know what to say about it, but it can happen to guys. I'm not trying to boast, but a lot of people, wouldn't want to piss me off because I like to play with swords and guns and things like that. And there wasn't a damn thing I could do about it. I didn't think. So when you think about abuse, it can happen to anybody. And here I am, I got the scars to prove it. I wanted to read a few things that I had written. The first one about relationships and kind of the way that your mind works. Because you don't think clearly when you're in love. So this is something that I've read before, but I felt that it needed to be drug out of the archives and kind of reworked, rewritten, because that got destroyed as well. Everything I've ever written is gone. So this is from my brain. This is what I remembered about this little poem. It's called Thinking About You. I thought about you the other day. Memory of you won't go away. I guess that happens. I miss your face. I miss your smile. I miss your touch, though it's been a while. And even though you weren't there, I swear that I can smell your hair. And now you're with someone else and it makes me sick. Do you hold his hand? Do you suck his dick? Do you think he'll fall for that same old trick, just like me? My mind starts to wander, the tears start to flow. The only answer is to walk away and let you go. Then the phone rings. Hello? I hear a voice I haven't heard in a while. And you tell me that you miss my smile. And I visit you in your dreams at night, where I kiss your lips and hold you tight. And then you ask what I've been up to? Nothing, baby. Just thinking about you. Okay, this little thing here, I actually have been writing for about the last 2.5 years in my head. I couldn't put it down on paper or a computer anywhere because it would be read. And my computers were gone through. This is my 4th computer in 2 years because they got destroyed. This is my 20th cell phone in 2 years because they got destroyed. Yeah. I had over 200 autographed pictures that I collected because I enjoy having mementos. They got destroyed. My guitars, my car was destroyed. And I still have it. It got fixed, but it was destroyed. 4 windshields. Can't count how many mirrors. Yeah. And I think that just about anything that I could be hit with, I was hit with. So here's a little something I think I just titled it The Situation because I had nothing else to say about it. And I was kind of stuck as to how to wrap it up. So I got aboard a little bit early today, and I decided I was going to go find some inspiration. So I drove by the 2 homes that we lived in together, just to get some inspiration. And discovered that she's not living in one anymore, which is good. She's not living in either one, but she's not living in the one that we were living in, which I was happy to see. And then I went to a parking lot that I spent a lot of time in when I was kicked out of the house. I slept in this parking lot quite a bit. I got my same parking spot. My computer automatically connected to their Wi-Fi because it was there. That's where I spent my time. And this is what I came up with. You came to me like a shot in the dark. You turned my world on its ear. I finally found what I've been looking for. Everything was perfect. Almost too good to be true. Was it? You taught me so much about myself. You showed me unconditional love. My focus shifted to you. Totally to you. Everyone said there was something wrong, but I never saw it. And then it hit me. No, you hit me. Apologies and blame, disappointment and shame. You said it would never happen again. And through blackened eyes, I saw an angel. Christmas with my family, explaining the bruise. No one questioned my excuse, except for my dad. He was on you from the beginning, but I defended you and quieted his doubt. Blood was shed, you spit in my face, while at the same time giving me everything I ever wanted. When I said I wondered what it felt like to be stabbed, I didn't think you'd give me that, let alone 5 times. Still, my focus was on you. You were all I had. You isolated me from family, friends, and people in general. Shut down the stairs, beaten with boards, clothes ripped off me, and whipped with cords. You hit me again. It happened almost every day. But swollen, bloody lips still say I love you. I thought I was worthless. I thought I needed you. You didn't realize that you needed me more. You needed someone to push down to pull yourself up. You'd throw me out and then beg me not to leave. Sometimes I'd get choked up. No, it was you choking me. But I'd still gasp out those 3 words. I love you. Then one day it was different. You weren't different. You still hit me, choked me, whipped me, and spit on me, and threw me out. This time, I decided I would leave. Only you wouldn't give me my doll. Had to keep something I wouldn't leave behind. You always preyed on the innocence of unconditional love. After 2 days of sleeping in my car, you said the text that would push the ball in motion. I hit a key outside. Why don't you get your dog and get the fuck out of my life? The words I've been waiting to hear in a mindset I was ready to act upon. Still, a cloudy, tired brain asked, do I love you? It took me over 2 years to write this, to drag me into this old tale. It's closure to a certain degree. There will always be things that trigger an emotion. It might be a little smile over a good time. It might be a heart flutter for a tender moment. It might be a tear for the heartbreak, or it might be utter fear for the whole situation. Be that what it may, I have 3 words I want to say to you. I'm still standing. And I have 3 more words I'd like to say. Go get help. Now I probably went about the wrong way, but that gave me so much anxiety to finish because I went back to where this all happened. And I saw different things. I saw the board that was broken in the fence that was from an altercation. I saw different things and it all came rushing back to me. That's what came out of it. And in moments where I was at my lowest and I didn't have anyone, I know that if I would have reached out to anybody, my family, they had my back. When I reached out to them, they had my back. They got me out of the situation. They got me home, and I'm happy. And I know if I would have reached out to anybody in this room, you would have had my back. You would have helped me out. And I appreciate that. So it's all of a sudden there. But you just don't realize it. It was told to me in a couple different ways. One is when you're in quicksand, you never realize you're in quicksand until you're about waist deep, then you're fucked. The other one was a very, very good therapist that I have been speaking to, and he said that a goldfish in a bowl never realizes that he's not in the ocean. He's just in the bowl. I want to read one more thing to you, and this one kind of scares the hell out of me. And to give you some perspective on when I wrote this was in the book that Will Ross and I published called Poetry. That's been about 10 years ago or so, 8 years ago. It's kind of a premonition as to what happened. This was originally a song that I wanted to get the rights to, that I wrote, and the band wanted the rights, so I published the fucker. It's mine. Oh, and real quick, I'm going to give a shout out to some people that have helped me out that I know are watching. Laura, Aaron, thank you. They really listen to whatever I have to say and help give me a little strength. And here I am. So this is struggle. I feed this machine. The machine don't feed me. When I was born, they broke the mold around me. Tried as hard as I could to act the way you think I should. As hard as I fought, I never thought I would struggle. Girl, it's a struggle every day with you. The struggle. I have to struggle just to stay with you. My dreams never turn out quite the way they ought to be. Thought I was so lucky the day that you found me. Did everything you said I should do, but you ripped out my heart and tore it right in two. You have to struggle just to stay with you. I struggle every day I'm with you. Once, you were my dream. Yeah, you were the queen. I would do anything for you. But you turned it around, kicked me when I was down and left me there for dead. Your love took its toll. You ripped out my soul, and dignity, you stole every shred. I took a fall. You made me crawl. Left me cold and alone inside my head, and I struggle. Yeah, I struggle here without you. Ripped off the mask that used to hide my face. Memories of you, the thoughts I cannot erase. From all my wounds, the blood hits the floor. Pain and despair I can't take anymore. Struggle. It was a struggle every day with you. Struggle. I had to struggle just to stay with you. Struggle. I still struggle here without you. Struggle for my mind, struggle for my soul. Struggle for sanity, struggle for control. Struggle for love, struggle for pride. I can't explain this struggle inside. Struggle for truth, struggle through lies. Every time I see your empty eyes, I struggle. But it's got nothing to do with you. Thank you very much.
Let me see, I've been either involved in or teaching martial arts for 30 years. And Mikey Taylor is actually one of the very few people in this world who, on that level, intimidates me. So if it can happen to him, it can happen to anybody. Emotional manipulation is a thing, and it can happen to the strongest of us, it can happen to the best of us. So if you feel like you're in a bad corner, just keep in mind, you can take a walk. We're always here to help. All right, now that I've gotten that happy little thought going, hopefully if anybody here is in the mood to escape, please pull that one up. So anyway, I am here introducing somebody because he's been the MC tonight, so would you please welcome Mr. Jim Race.
How are we doing, Sydney? So in throwing this show together, it occurred to me that I've been out of the local scene for a while. No comedy, no poetry, no anything else. Haven't done anything with a samurai since Michael Garo's show, which has been probably about a year and a half. And a few of you might have heard some interesting things about my goings-on in that time frame. I had lunch with Nesbitt last week and told him, like, yeah, hey, as far as entertainment value goes, I'm really thinking about telling the story, my version of events of the poop box tonight. But I can't exactly do that in good conscience. It would be dirty laundry of at least 3 other people. And I'm not down with that. But the other side of that I spent a lot of time thinking about is that I've been gone for effectively 2 years. And so, okay, hey, we're drawing a crowd. We have a very worthy charity here tonight, and I feel like this is kind of my chance to share the biggest life lesson that I've learned in all of that time. And so, standing up here shouting about how unfair it is that yeah, I'm not getting married feels a bit childish, for lack of a better term here. So, what I've decided to talk about instead, yes, I'm the one who came up with the title of Happily Never After. I'm the one that said, let's have a show about how stupid relationships are and the terrible things that people do to each other in the name of love. But I thought that a more worthy thing for me to spend my literal 15 minutes talking about was about how I was wrong about taking psych meds to deal with my personal demons. That is a huge lesson that I learned, and kind of came to terms with this year. So, if everyone's okay with that, that's the hole that we're going to go down. There is no cow manure involved, or the United States Postal Service, but I promise there's some other life lessons included. We cool? Okay, we cool. So, yeah, I'm just going to jump right in. For lack of a better term, I was not prepared to hear that the person that I had like built my life around, yeah. There was a joke here, but I've had too much of an awkward pause. So we'll leave it alone. But yes. No, but this person that I was like, yeah, it was my future, just like, was like, hey, I think it's best if you moved out. I was not ready to hear that. And so then, yeah, when a friend of mine said, yeah, hey, I got an extra room at this house on 64th and Maple, like, you know, X amount per month. I'm like, holy shit, that's way cheaper than I was thinking. He's like, yeah, I know, just sign a lease and move in and you're good to go. So I'm like, okay, hey, cool, awesome. This is the direction that I'm going now. I was scared. I was really fucking scared. And everyone, I was surprised, and so was she, as well as friends, family, and everyone else, just that I was moving out so quickly. And it was the 21st of January that we had the conversation where I needed to move out, and then like the 5th of February where I was actually showing up with a fucking U-Haul and saying, okay, bye. She's like, are you sure you want to do this? I'm like, you fucking asked me to do this! What is even going on right now? I don't want to, but you... Anyways. So I did that, and came into Benson, and it was a bumpy fucking ride. I'm not going to mince any words. It just, yeah, hey, I drink more than a reasonable person probably should. I get down on myself. And yeah, through this whole process, there have been some very scary thoughts that have run across my head. And at the time, I was working nights at a factory job. Basically staring at the wall all night, not talking to another living soul, while I inspect high-class lenses and put them in a machine. And then I would get home, where my roommates were either sleeping or at work, pass out for the day, come back, stare at the wall all night, rinse and repeat. So it's just, there was a lot of isolation. And I mean, it just, yeah. I've stood up here in front of a samurai crowd and talked about my experiences with suicidal thoughts before, but it just, the first time that kind of creeps across your consciousness, you can say, oh yeah, fuck off, go away. It's like a big spider in your kitchen. You're just like, get out of here. No, not welcome, you're gone. But if anyone's seen the movie Arachnophobia, I don't know where my 90s kids are at, but yeah, when there's 10,000 of those spiders coming at you from all directions, it's a bit of a different story. When this is your life, day in and day out. Yeah, the first time, and the 5th time, and the 30th time, you can say, no, 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 we're not doing that, we're not doing that, we're not doing that. Eventually, it just kind of becomes part of your daily routine. Oh, there's a giant fucking spider in the shower, and hey, there's another one in my sock drawer. Oh, there's 5 more in the car that I need to let egress out the window on my drive to work. And here they come, here they come, here they come. Any reasonable, well, I don't even want to say reasonable person, but it just, yeah. These things can only sit on a loop in your head for so long before it starts to sound like a reasonable thing. And the sneaky fucking thing about depression is that it starts by convincing you that nothing fucking matters. It's okay. You can be 5 minutes late to work. And it's alright. Your car doesn't need an oil change this week. Hey, you know what? If you don't show up to that family event, no one's gonna fucking miss you. And then it kind of escalates from there. Well, no one notices you're doing the worst job at work, man. Just like, you know, kind of chill and take a day off. You know, hey, oh, they didn't even say anything about you missing that family event. Do these people didn't care about you, like they're only tying you as blood relation. Just put them to the side. They clearly don't fucking care. And etc. and etc. and etc. It's just this quiet little death spiral. I'm sorry if I'm setting anyone off who's lived this before, but that's kind of where I was at. But it all kind of came to a head one day, I want to say in March. Yeah, no, it was definitely fucking in March. I remember the exact day it was because I had spent all night just saying, no, I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not going to do that. No, I have friends who care about me. No, my family would be devastated, etc., etc. And so I said, all right, fuck it. Straight out of work, 8 in the morning, I went to the DMV. I updated my driver's license with my current address. That, I went straight home and packed up every gun in the house, and I went to Saul's pawn shop and said, yeah, hi, these have just been collecting dust, I want to get rid of them, etc., etc. What can you give me for them? Okay, that's bullshit, that's like less than half of what I paid for them, but yeah, hey, fine, I just want them gone. Later that night, I recorded an interview with my brother, who did a podcast type thing, which you can find out about up here. But yeah, from that interview, I was supposed to go do, I think, a comedy set. So I stopped to have dinner along the way. And when I was eating dinner by myself, I decided to peruse the Facebooks. And there were all these posts about a friend of mine who had passed away. And I was like, wait, what the fuck? I had 2 kids, and just bought a new car, and et cetera, et cetera. Staph infection had gone undetected and reached her heart. She passed away that morning. My friend Rachel Rizzi. Met her doing comedy, and just, yeah, she was one of the most awesome people in the punk scene ever. So that really made me kind of take a step back and think, all right, you know, just one of the shining lights of the Omaha music scene just tragically and senselessly passed away in the kind of life that she very much wanted to live. Oh, and by the way, not to be outdone, Joe has decided life wasn't worth living anymore. So if anyone wants to have a cleaning party, yeah, his runs are on the wall at 64th and Maple. It was clear to me that I need to do something more severe than what I was doing. At Rachel's funeral, not much longer after that, some friends and I went to the bar afterwards to drink in her memory. And my friend April Heller flat out told me, just I kind of said, okay, hey, here's what's going on. I'm not okay. I'm holding it together as best I can. I went to a doctor back in January, asked for some help. She gave me vitamin B3, which is like pissing on a fucking house fire. I've tried the medical option, I've tried this, I've tried that, I've been exercising. I don't know what the fuck to do, but this is becoming a very old routine. She told me, go to One World Community Health Centers. They will not refuse service based on inability to pay, et cetera, et cetera. And so I said, all right, hey, thanks. Made that appointment. Still very skeptical. I think a week or 2 later, I was sitting in the parking lot of One World at like 7:30 in the morning, eating a breakfast sandwich from Quick Trip or some other goddamn place, just like, is this really what I want to do? Can I just call them and tell them I can't make it, et cetera, et cetera. Came in, checked in, and I went back and I was talking to the nurse practitioner when they finally came in, and just kind of broke down crying and told her every thought that had been going through my head. And with absolutely zero judgment, she said, hey, this is the biggest, bravest thing that you could do. Come in here saying I need help, saying that, you know, I want to try something else and I'm scared. Hey, I'm going to start you on this for the depression. I'm going to give you something so that you can sleep and to fight anxiety attacks, and we'll go from there. Even going to the pharmacy to get those prescriptions filled, I was scared as fuck. And the pharmacist could tell this, and you know, she said, hey, no, it's okay. She gave us statistics on how many people are on medications and things like that. She said, yeah, look you up, look to your right, go to a family dinner. There are at least like half of the people there probably on something to help control their emotions and their mental health. Yeah, hey, whatever, thanks. so you just give me pills and money.
4 days later,
After I had actually started taking the thing that they gave me to take, it was like I could think clearly for the first time in years. Just, I don't know any other way to describe it. It's like I did not have to direct all of my mental energies to not killing myself, or about what a horrible person I was, or about how I tripped over my words 4 days ago with the vending machine at work. That person was totally judging me, therefore I was evil, therefore I needed another job. Fuck you, you don't deserve another job because you jumped around too much the last 5 fucking years. You're 32, you don't need to be working these jobs. It's really the best option that you should kill yourself. And that'd be the best way. No! Stop. That is not what we're doing here. Yeah, but if you died, then you could stop disappointing people and shut the fuck up, god damn it. McDonald's is paying like $12 an hour. McDonald's? Really? You're gonna go work at fucking McDonald's? That's all the more you're worth right now? Okay. Maybe 12 channels on sale at Walmart right now. Let's go check it out. These are the ridiculous fucking death spirals that you get stuck into. I'm not saying it makes sense. I'm not saying I believe any of it. Even at the time I knew it was ridiculous. But again, depression's a tricky bastard. It starts by convincing you that nothing matters. It wants to convince you that your job and your family and your friends are annoyed because you're always in this weird mood. Your friends are just tolerating you because they have to be nice. Your family is just putting up with you because you're blood related, etc. Don't believe a fucking word of that. Is what I'm saying. Anyone in here? Yeah, hey, we're in an alcoholic drug den. This is where I found myself a lot of fucking days. Not Sydney specifically. My Jerry's got if anyone's asking. They opened at 7 a.m. I was working nights. Nothing against you, Shane. You're an excellent bartender. You pour great whiskey. But I'm just saying, it was not unheard of at all for me to kill a handle of whiskey in like 2 or 3 days, all by myself, back in the day. And I didn't realize how bad things had become until the only person that I've ever able to ask to share my life with said, like, yeah, hey, you're not the man I know, like, take you out of here. And then I didn't quite get things until I really started assessing who I was and how I got back to how I let things get this bad. But I'm just saying, there's help out there. I was wrong about medication. I was wrong about therapy. I was wrong about redemption and a lot of other things. As soon as she said she wanted to end things, I told myself, and I think for accountability's sake, I posted this on Facebook, that this year, I wanted to get into classes for Cisco Certified Network Associate. I wanted to run a 5K, and I wanted to be able to pick a slot up. There's a high security lock that is, or was, several steps beyond my abilities at the time. And so, back in March, I started classes for CCNA at Metro. I'm currently a couple weeks away from finishing CCNA 3, the last one CCNA 4. Just a few weeks ago, October 13th, with my best friend Dan Marty and with Liz Riley setting the pace, I ran the Westford Smart Halloween 5K. I really had to pee that last mile or so, but goddammit, they dragged me through kicking and screaming. And there were sandwiches at the end. No one told me this, but at the end of the 5K, there is like food and other things to be happy about. So, and I've been working on my picking and things this year, and so I'm able to take an Albus, more high security thing than like most master and branch locks, and I'm on my way to being able to open a slouch. Any lock that has a goofy German name you've never heard of is probably more high security than what you see at Menards. Just as a general rule, because I talk about my goals in these things, and people are like, what are you talking about, Medico, whatever? I'm like, oh, okay, if that's a funny thing that you've never heard of, and it's very, very expensive, then that's probably a good sign. Anyways, I did spend like $65 on a Sludge Everest core. I have that at the house. I don't know if there's a name for this, but it's just like, yeah, there needs to be, if there isn't already a term for when like the hero in the quest like has everything they need to like go and slay the bad guy. He just has to go and fucking do it because like that's where I'm at. Like the 5K's done. I'm in classes and I'm like charging towards that, and I have to do what?
You're ready for the boss.
Yes, ready for the boss fight. Yes, it just I found like the big boss key and whatnot. It's like, yeah, I got my hook shot. Okay, I've got like 3 fairies in the bottle. Like, hey, fuck you, let's box. All right, I'm ready. Quit hiding. I don't care. Yeah, I got my arrows. We're ready to go. So fight me, you coward. Thank you, Cat. Thank you. Boom. As some of you may have noticed, I'm still not quite okay. Yes, I'm still drinking. Yes, I'm still obsessing and chasing my tail over all kinds of other things. Yeah. My girlfriend had to convince me the other day that, yeah, my friends didn't hate me because I didn't know which t-shirt I wanted to wear. So, I mean, hey, it's just little baby steps and things that we get through. You know, anxiety is another motherfucker that I will save for another night. But, hey. Point being, there's plenty more room in that picture for people that are experiencing all kinds of hellish things that I have not quite been through. I'm not saying that my relationship with my fiance was abusive, but just that's something I'm not quite comfortable talking about just yet. Nez told me the other night, he was like, no, give that some time, sit on it, you'll be able to fucking own it in a very like random comedic fashion once you're ready to be arrested. Every time I try to write this set list, like I just kind of broke down in some sort of anxiety fuel. I don't know what to call it. I'm like, you know what? We're not talking about that. We're going to talk about sacraments instead. So, take care of yourself. Check in on each other. If someone seems like they're not quite okay, take that extra time to pull them aside and be like, dude, are you okay? Because sometimes that's all you need. Honestly, I wasn't 100% sure about executing the show and staying with the samurai until Liz told me. While we were having cinnamon rolls after the 5K, she's like, I really want to help the samurai, but I don't want to perform. I'm like, oh my God, people like what we're doing up here. So, blah, let's keep this going. Anyways, point being, tiny conversations lead to big things. No offense, Liz, I'm not calling you tiny. I'm just saying, like, little. Anyways, point being, someone buy Lassie a shot. Thank you all for being as amazing as you are. There's still plenty of room for love in that picture and otherwise. So, I'm Joe Riss. This has been the Samurai Spoken Word. Happily never after. Y'all have a wonderful night. We'll be hanging out. Thank you. I've had a few drinks. Okay, that's not the end of the show. That's not the end of the show. That is, we're still at DEF CON 2. We are still at DEF CON 2. Okay, so.
I want to be forgotten, but not by you, asshole. Up now is. Did you just shush me? You know what happened.
Nez, you get to introduce the next performer because I just fucked up. And, yeah. And it's scratching your head. When the Ann Myers is scratching your head, you know you fucked up. So, all right, I'm going to go away now. Dave does it, all right.
Hello, you're still on the seat for me. When things go horribly wrong, my job is to be the person who takes over and makes sure that there's no casualties. No major casualties. No fatalities. Anyway, she opened the show, so without any further ado, we're going to have her close up, ladies and gentlemen. Will you please welcome Miss Emily.
ABC, right? Always be closing. Some of you know a little bit about what's gone on in the last year and a half of my life. And pretty much, if you threaten to burn my car, turn my pets into the Humane Society, and torch my house with me in it, you don't get to live in that house anymore.
Seems fair.
I think it's fair. I think it's absolutely fair.
Where about this writing?
Yeah, actually, I think that's in the lease. So if it's not, it should be. Anyway, most recently, this ex of mine has decided to say that because we were both on the mortgage at the same time, foreclosure, not foreclosure, but for him to have closure, he needed me to refinance the house right goddamn now. One word, right goddamn now. Because that would be what it would take for him to move on. The Friday before the 1st of October, which was math, and I've had beer, but I did sign that refinancing paper. And I thought, hooray, we're done. I was wrong. Because it was a Tuesday night, I believe. And this is after some other awful behavior. It was a Tuesday night, and a bunch of us were sitting around the dining room table, enjoying a little bit of wine, some board games, and other geeky conversation. And up pops on the other Jessica living under the same roof, because we were at Jessica Pasadena. That is a word I have invented. I'm quite proud of it. Thank you very much. I may use it more than once tonight. But up popped on her phone was a message saying, just she'll fuck you over, and when she does, I'll be here to commiserate. Now, bear in mind, this person did not know of the existence of my roommate. He did not know that I had a roommate. But he has taken the time out of his day after the closure that he with me refinancing the house. He's taken the time out of his day to discover that I have a roommate, figure out who she is, and stalk her to the point of understanding that she has a minor child. His reasons being is that apparently somehow along the way I made his kids cry. I don't remember this, considering he was a very absentee parent even in the time they were under the same roof. But his reasons were, she has a child, and he didn't want me to infect their existence or some nonsense like that. So he has gone from threatening me with legal action or to have the sheriff then break into my house because he was still part owner and move him back in. I would call that a threat. I would call that a threat. But he has moved on from that to stalking people that he does not even know. So I have not had fun last, I don't know, year and a half, thereabouts, in dealing with this particular person. However, I do want to say this. If someone confides in you that they have been or are being abused, believe them. Full stop. The irony of this is that I stand before you as the accused crazy ex-girlfriend, the abusive one that, as the stories go, did everything short of physical violence to her ex. Remember how I said I wish I was this evil person? Because they have the best fucking posture? I'm not kidding, they really do, but that's not me. I can defend myself all I want, but you know, I guess those words are different than actions. However, the one who's, let's see here, the abusive one that, as the stories go, did everything short of physical abuse to my ex. The one who's the inspiration for the great unfriending and the subject of many Facebook posts, and the unwilling and unpresent third in relationships he's tried to start since we split. It's been since June 2017. And I still get dragged into his drama, albeit less frequently these days, but it still happens. And to some degree, I'm grateful, because I am lucky enough to surround myself with people who can see through the gaslighting, see through the bullshit, and really see him for who and what he is. I've been able to offer insight, protect others from him remotely and passively. If I can do nothing else in this life and to see fewer people damaged than what might have been without my having existed in it, then I have succeeded in leaving this world better than I found it. But if Emily, you say, if you aren't abusive, if that's not you, why aren't you fighting the accusation? Because you see, he has been abused. He is damaged. He has been put through hell, and he has not made peace with it yet. The only details that are wrong are the perpetrator and the time it took place. This is why I want everyone to, should someone say they've been abused, believe them. Believe them, but know it's not your responsibility or even within your power to fix them. That's a fool's errand. The most any person can do is the heaviest of heavy lifting, and that's radical self-care, introspection, heal and reinforce your self-trust. Develop healthy boundaries and stick to them. Kindness isn't always nice, It doesn't always look like what you think, but it's always honest. It's always from a place of respect. It's often, I love you, trying on a new hat. Believe your friends and your loved ones, strangers who may be drawn to you to say that they're hurting, that they've been hurt. To doubt leaves room for more pain and more suffering, and no soul deserves that. But to do so from a place of stability, a place of safety and trust. Be the mountain to others' maelstrom. When the wind and rain stops, the flowers bloom. Beauty can exist before there was only chaos. Leaving the world a little better than it found it. I love you.
One more time for our family. Okay, so, for real this time, this is not a drill. This is the end of the show. But yes, Pete, Taryn, Wig, Mikey, Kat, everyone who's been up here tonight, Lathan, thank you all so much for making this happen. Shane, thank you for being a badass behind the bar, putting up with our shit. Tom Rich Real Estate, and Real Wild Stories Radio. I'm happy for that management team, but that's not important right now. But yes, check us out if you have any real estate concerns. If you know anyone who's selling a house, please absolutely let him know. He does good work. I can attest to this personally. But yes, we are still accepting donations here in this picture for the Women's Center for Advancement. If you have any questions or want any literature about the nature of abuse, if Emily was good enough to put on some things about that, there are some pamphlets and other things up here. Regarding that, if you need a guide on your refrigerator to the last 2 months of the year, Tom has some calendars. He printed last year with his real estate information on there as well. And so, yes, 100% of what we're raising tonight will go to WCA. Liz Riley will be seeing to that. She's back there at the bar. So, yes, I cannot say it enough. Thank you for coming out tonight. All of my jitters and personal concerns, self-doubt, words found out to be wrong. So, what's that?
We should do this more often.
Yes, we should do this more often. This was a test fire. I'm seeing if the Samurai should come back, at least under my tutelage. So, yeah, there are talks for how to do that in the future. And in true Samurai tradition, we will be going to Beer Cave for the after party and also to celebrate Taryn's birthday. So, yeah, if you like old school video games for 25 cents a pop, then, hey, that's the thing we're going to be doing. But, Nez, anything I missed? Here comes the voice of God. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Dave Nesbitt, I did something wrong.
No, actually, Joe did something right. He put a show together and we all had a great time. Before we wrap it up the evening, if any of you out there are feeling particularly cheap and have not yet tipped Shane, we will find you and we will samurai your shit. Please take care of the bartender. He's taking great care of us this evening. Thank you all very much. And for the samurai, you can come up here and join us because Kat wants us all to wave goodnight to the camera, and to that, we wave goodnight to you.
Thank you very much, yes. Everybody who joined us in person, thank you so much. Like we said, I know we're going to push it, but we're pushing it one more time. It's like, yay, left in that picture. And if you could throw $1 Shane's way and throw $1 the Women's Center for Advancement's way, or if not, later you can go to the Samurai's webpage on the Facebooks and you can find a link to their donation page straight to them. You don't even have to go through us if you feel like, we're shady people. You can totally donate directly to them. And for everyone watching at home, thanks so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed. But seriously, click on that fucking donation link. Click on the donation link. Thank you to the Samurai. It's really great to be back with you guys. And thank you everyone for watching. Everybody have a good night and enjoy the rest of your week. Take care of yourselves and each other. We can take your picture with the camera. which I will do right now. As I sing a song, going up to the camera. And as I'm going up to the camera, I'm ending the stream. Thank you everyone for joining us this evening. I hope you'll return again for the next show. Good night. Wave bye, everybody. Bye.